Well, well, well. The day is finally here. We get to see the Dallas Cowboys schedule, and we already know the teams that they're playing, but now we get to see the dates that they are playing and just kind of see how all of these different times, how many prime time games. We also get to see like how many games are they going to bunch up for the Dallas Cowboys. Because as I said the last time you saw me on Tuesday, is the Cowboys are not just battling their opponents on the schedule. The Cowboys are battling a schedule to where the NFL absolutely knows which team butters its bread. And so the NFL continues to put the Dallas Cowboys in some of the toughest schedule situations that you've ever seen. And I got a strange feeling they're going to do it again this time. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Cowboys Super Bowl schedules. We're even going to hear the latest interview from Stephen Jones. And this might be the first place that you heard it. But nevertheless, we're going to talk Cowboys. Will we talk facts? Yep. Let's go. Man, let me tell y'all something. I have scoured the internet and I have some of the best stories about the Dallas Cowboys as we lead up to the official release at 7 p.m. of the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And yes, we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great things coming up the rest of this season. Now let's talk facts. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the George Pickens news from the other day. I'm also going to circle the block again on Troy Aikman and the comments he made about the Dallas Cowboys. Then I'm going to let you hear 10 questions specifically about the Dallas Cowboys. And we're only going to deal with the ones about the Dallas Cowboys, so it technically won't be 10 questions, but we're going to deal with the one about George Pickens from Dan Graziano. Then, just as I was getting ready to get preparing for the show, man, something flashed across the timeline. Stephen Jones is talking about the Dallas Cowboys. So we're going to listen to Stephen Jones. Then we're going to look at the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl schedules. I did 1992. So I went back and did 1993 and 1995. So we're going to look at those as we get ready for that official schedule release in at 7 p.m. And then we're going to talk about the schedule. We're going to talk about the win-loss prediction. And then I got a whole lot of other stuff that if I can get to it in time, we'll count that as quick hits. I got a lot of stuff coming. But that's what we're going to talk about. George Pickens, Troy Aikman, 10 questions, Stephen Jones, Super Bowl schedules, official schedule, win-loss prediction, and quick hits. Let's go. Let's get it. Hey. Yeah, Undertaker, I've been seeing all this unofficial stuff. This stuff is supposed to come at 7 p.m. We're going to get the 7 p.m. version. We're going to get the 7 p.m. version, Undertaker. I know, man, people always just spoiling. People just spoil everything. This is the thing about the internet. Nothing is sacred any longer. But again, the official schedule releases at 7 p.m. And I've already been seeing a whole bunch of leaks and people out there talking about leaks and guesses. Oh, come on, man. You know y'all done already seen this stuff. Nevertheless, Cowboys fans, we're going to have some fun today. I didn't see y'all yesterday. Y'all didn't see me. So we got to get our time in. Best chat on YouTube. Let's get this roll call. Let's go. Let's get it. What is going on, Andre Johnson? First one in the chat. What's going on? Timothy Johnson, it's on and popping. Kate, what's going on? John Henry, the real estate vet all the way from Las Vegas. What is going on? It is the big Roundbowski. He said, Pickens, Spannikins, unite. What's going on? JP the Goo, what up? Terry Tatum, Michael Tyree, Thomas Gold, Ring, Jacob Jackson. What's going on? Dominique, what's going on, Dominique? Frank Lawrence, let's go. Carl Williams, Bass, Brother Holman, what is going on? 5 points of the star. Dak Owens is in here. He said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Come in, hit the like button. Let your opinion be heard, and also keep the chat clean. Let's go. I know, Bass. These people, there's nothing sacred no more, man. There is nothing secret. 5 points of the star. What's going on, Angel Days? Lynn from the 903. Brandon Cup. What is going on? JP the Goo. Poobie D, my man. What up, Poobie D? LA Dot 61. What's going on? Rye X a fan. T Rev 757. What is going on, Undertaker? I know they done spoiled it. They done spoiled it. By the way, we gonna act like they didn't spoil it. What's going on, Larry Hunter? G Main. What up, G Main? JCT Slice. He said our schedule is monstrous. We got our work cut out for us. But if the defense is legitimately good this year or decent, Dak and the wide receivers can take care of the rest. We still have 4. Yes, sir. Freddie Morales. El Chuco in the house. What up? Football Fanatic. What up? Paul Lander. What up? Richard Owens. What's going on? Blakey. What's up, Blakey? John Jones. What's going on, John Jones? He said, what up, G Money? I tell you, it's a New Jack City. Money talking. Bullcorn runs a marathon. Yes, sir. Ron Hanna, what is going on? I am him. What's going on? I am him. We them boys. All right, let's get this show started. What up, Mike said this. What is going on, everybody? Good to see you. Didn't see y'all yesterday. I got a little too busy. But nevertheless, God is willing. We are here today. All right, so as we get closer to 7 p.m., we will talk about the schedule at the 7 p.m. mark. That is when it will officially drop, even though by the sounds of it, a lot of y'all are saying that it's already dropped. I'm telling you, this is what's wrong with the internet. We waiting on the Drake Iceman. We waiting on the Drake Iceman record before you. They gonna make sure they'll probably release it before it even comes out. They gonna have it released. I've already been hearing people talk my songs off of it. But nevertheless, I want to circle the block on a few subject matters as we build up to this thing about the schedule. I'm pretty sure y'all saw a lot of the stuff yesterday about one George Pickens not showing up to the voluntary workouts. And all I'm going to tell Cowboy fans is on this George Pickens matter. None of this means nothing at this point. I think everybody kind of anticipated that George Pickens was not going to show up to anything voluntary. So we're not going to see George Pickens, I believe. I don't believe we're going to see him in May. Now, I will tell you my logic on this, and this is the part that don't make sense to me. So if George Pickens is going to hold out for the voluntary stuff, so he's not going to do the voluntary stuff, can somebody help me understand what is the difference in doing the voluntary stuff and George Pickens working out on his own? Can somebody help me out? Somebody says, well, George Pickens shouldn't do the voluntary stuff because George Pickens may get hurt. Well, can he get hurt working out on his own? Is there some kind of special protection that he has if he doesn't work out with the Cowboys in voluntary workouts? I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I'm just like, I get it, but I don't get it. What does it prove? What are you proving? What are you saying by not showing up to the voluntaries? Okay, I'm mad because you didn't sign me to a long-term extension, so I'm mad. I'm not going to show up. And I'm not going to show up either because I don't want to get hurt, but I'm still going to work out on my own. I'm going to work out with Dak Prescott. I'm going to work out with other people on my own at other fields because I'm guaranteed not to get hurt. I mean, what are we saying? I don't understand this. What is the point of signing the non-exclusive tag early if you're not going to show up for the voluntaries? What are you doing? You might as well have waited to June to sign a non-exclusive tag because you missed the voluntary stuff, but then you show up in June. I don't understand sometimes, when we get on these tirades about trying to send messages to people. What message are you sending? I mean, what message could you be sending by not showing up the volunteers? I mean, everybody knows that George Pickens isn't happy about not getting the extension. Okay, we understand that part, but it is what it is. As much as we hate it, a lot of us are advocating for George to get the long-term deal. But no matter what we argue, we don't sign the contract. And I'll tell you, man, this is one of the things I had a problem with Troy Aikman with. I had a serious problem with Troy Aikman because, I mean, a lot of people try to give Troy Aikman a lot of credit. I'll give Troy Aikman, the quarterback, credit all day long for those 5 years that he was absolutely dominant in the NFL with an absolutely dominant team. But Troy Aikman sometimes, I believe that Troy Aikman sometimes you can hear the bitterness coming out of him about certain things, as in he's always wanting to express that he doesn't like the way the Cowboys do certain things. And then the people who feed off of the negativity, then they'll jump on the bandwagon with everything that Troy Aikman says and says, wow, Troy Aikman told the truth. Well, let's just pump the brakes on Troy Aikman told the truth. Troy Aikman may have told some truth, but I don't believe Troy Aikman told the truth. And I didn't like his whole comments about George Pickens. I'm telling you, man, Troy Aikman I'm telling you right now, Troy Aikman has said about 3 things already. Troy Aikman has said, I don't know about y'all, man, but Troy Aikman has said about 3 things already that if I knew him personally, I'd be having to have a conversation with him. I mean, I wouldn't be fighting him or nothing like that. But nah, man, I got to have a conversation. Man, I'm just going to tell y'all up front. Troy Aikman be out of pocket, man. Troy Aikman be out of pocket. And Troy Aikman now even knows what he is doing. Don't let Troy Aikman fool y'all. Troy Aikman be doing some stuff, man, because he also knows it's going to bring him some attention. Let me tell you something about people, man. People, it's amazing to me. People will be critical about the Cowboys and all the drama behind the Dallas Cowboys. And in the first opportunity they get to put a microphone in their face, they are the first one bringing up a controversy about the Cowboys. They're the first one trying to throw out comments to bring drama about the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm telling you, man, I did not like Troy Aikman's comments. I'm going to give you a couple of comments about Troy Aikman that absolutely set me, man, I'm just telling you. Troy Aikman really had me mad about had me mad about some of these things that he was saying. Let me give you the first thing that Troy Aikman had me mad about. And we're going to keep this right within what we're talking about. George Pickens. Troy Aikman ticked me off with this comment, and then people just applaud him. I'm not applauding Troy Aikman. Troy, Captain Obvious. We don't need you trying to say the obvious things, I want you to think about this. You ever been kind of settled on a situation? You ever had a situation to come up in your life, something you didn't like, and you're settled on it, and you kind of like, okay, this is what it is, so I know how I gotta proceed. And then just when you're settled on the matter, somebody comes along and say, man, if it was me. Somebody comes along and throws some more gasoline on the fire that is going out and saying, oh man, you should be man. You should be acting like this or this, that, or the other. Troy, you are about 2 months too late on this conversation about George Pickens. I did not like this. Just listen to the conversation. Troy doesn't state the obvious of, hey, he's under, he doesn't mention anything about the Pittsburgh stuff. Doesn't mention anything about the non-exclusive tag. None of that. Just up front, no, one good year from George Pickens in Dallas as far as the overall behavior and performance matching. Give him the money. And don't get me wrong, I want George to get paid too. But I also understand what the situation is. This is the situation that George is in. The NFL Players Association signed up for this. David Mulugeta, George Pickens knows what this is. And then here comes Troy Aikman, who we know his voice carries. Here comes Troy Aikman, ESPN. Watch this. All right, let me see. Somebody said, could you hear that? What was on there? Hold on, let me see.
Tag. So I would have to that also Steve Jones comes out and says that they are not going to.
All right, can you hear it now, Mega
What does
Sedone?
that do for his mind as far as him going into this season? Time will tell. But if he can go next year, CD and keep him healthier than he was, yeah, they need a lot out of that defense, and I would expect that for those that are optimistic and feel like you said, hey, if they're just average, I believe that this is a defense that at minimum would be average.
What just jumped into my head as you were talking is I was thinking, I always remember when John Elway retired and he was thanking players and he mentioned Shannon Sharp and he said,
All right, did y'all hear that video of Troy Aikman? And if not, I don't want to mess up the stream. But in a nutshell, Troy Aikman decides to talk about George Pickens and you play a good year, you expect to be rewarded and all of these things. We don't need Troy Aikman to be, I mean, somebody just made a very good point. Let me go back here in the comments. Somebody just made a very good point. In case we can't hear it. Anthony Jefferson just made a great point. He's talking about Dallas, but he works for the Miami Dolphins. Don't understand. Don't need Troy Aikman bringing more drama to Dallas. Because the moment Troy Aikman, and I'm going to tell you something, I think this is the second time that Troy Aikman has done this. Troy Aikman knows full well that when he says something, the media is going to hang on to his every word. He knows it. And I think he's doing this stuff on purpose. I absolutely believe that Troy Aikman is doing this stuff on purpose now. I do. I can't deal with someone saying you don't want drama with the Cowboys, but then you're one of the people that's bringing drama to the Cowboys. He brought this drama with this doggone George Pickens situation. Don't like it. Don't like it. I'm just being honest. I don't like it. And I didn't understand why people, oh yeah, man, Troy. Yeah, you know, Troy. And he's even saying, yeah, man, people want to get paid. Well, when you talk about George Pickens, no matter what you say, if you're going to be objective about the situation. Now, if you want to be subjective, like I've chosen to do at certain points on George Pickens, I want George Pickens to be extended. But if I'm being objective, well, George Pickens did this 1 year with the Dallas Cowboys. He did it 1 year. I'm not telling you that that's right or wrong. I'm telling you that's the case. If it was me, I would extend George Pickens, but I don't sign the checks. But if someone chose not to extend George Pickens, I could understand that too. Even if I don't like it. See, sometimes we have to understand. Just because we don't like something don't mean that it's wrong. Just because we don't like something don't mean that it's right. Just because we like something don't mean that it's right. If we don't like it, it don't mean that it's wrong. And if we do like it, it don't mean that it's right. Objectively, there are a lot of people out there, whether people acknowledge this or not, there are a lot of people out there in that NFL world that absolutely agrees with what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. They agree with it. A lot of teams agree with it. Because if teams didn't agree with it in a draft that was so talent, I mean, it was really blue chip player dry. If you were ever going to give up draft picks, you would have gave them up in 2026 for George Pickens. Absolutely. You wouldn't give up 2027. Especially with, I think the kid is the name Jeremiah Smith. You're not giving up 2027. But if you were ever going to give up draft picks for any player this year, it would have been this year. Because the draft really didn't have a lot of blue chippers. I mean, you literally could have did what Freddie Morales was talking about. You could have gave up your whole draft this year. I mean, at least you could have said, hey, 1, 2, 3, you can have all three of them. Can't give you two number ones. I can give you a 1, a 2, and a 3 in this year's draft. The league is saying the same thing. The league is saying, nah, we're not willing to give $40 million and 2 first-round picks, or $40 million a first, a second, and a third, or $40 million a first, a second, and a fourth. They were not willing to do it because the league is saying the same thing. If you're being objective about this, you'll understand what I'm saying. The league also wants to see George Pickens do it. One more year with the Cowboys. And if George Pickens does it one more year with the Cowboys, which I believe he can absolutely do, he's going to bust the bank next year. He's going to bust the bank. Because no matter how you slice it, he will have made $60 million in 2 years. If he stays healthy the whole season, which I believe he will, and then he gets to next season, and the Cowboys were to give me a franchise tag next year, I'm taking it. You're talking about $60 million in 2 years. I'll take it. Guaranteed, 2 years. I'll take it. Got it? Then I'm going to leave because I know you won't franchise me the fourth time, and I'm going to break the bank. George is going to break the bank either way you slice it. But for Troy Aikman to come in and start giving his 2 cents about it, still not happy about it. Still not happy about it. And while we're on Troy Aikman,
here we go.
Apologize, Cowboy fans. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm just trying to tell the truth about this, how I look at this whole situation. Because when I hear Troy Aikman talk, I don't hear somebody talking objectively really about the Cowboys. I don't really hear somebody talking objectively. Other people, I guess they do. They hear somebody talking objectively. I don't hear somebody talking objectively. I hear somebody trying to put their opinion on something. Because if I'm being objective, I'm going to bring up both sides of this situation. Aikman didn't bring up both sides of this situation. Aikman just brought up the player's side in his opinion. You know what he really said in the grand scheme of things? I'm a better GM than Jerry Jones. Because if it was me, I would have extended George Pickens. You might not be hearing that, but I am. Because the Miami Dolphins were smart for hiring Troy Aikman. But the Cowboys, the Cowboys, they're not too smart because they didn't hire somebody like Troy Aikman. Y'all might not have heard that when he said it, but that's what he was insinuating. Yeah, the Cowboys, they're not really that smart. Because if they were, they would have hired somebody like me. It's strange to me. Because why hasn't the league hired somebody like you? I mean, when you tell me the Miami Dolphins hired you, bro, I'm not really impressed as some people are. I'm just not really all that impressed. But impress me. Please impress me. Bass said, yep, G, that's exactly what he said without directly saying it. Exactly, Bass. We can hear what he's saying. And then, let's listen to the next part. Let me read. Hey, Bass said he wants to see the team he's had major success with have major success, and he hates how the Joneses don't want that. Yeah, he wants the Joneses to take his. He wants the Joneses to take his advice on how to do the team. And then he made this other comment, and I don't understand. I have seen people quoting this comment and talking about this comment. I don't know what the heck. I still don't know what the heck Troy Aikman was talking about.
You know,
for enough better that they can finally get back to where they haven't been since you were there.
yeah, I think so. I mean, that is the big question.
All right, can y'all hear this?
They can understand that. Sometimes you bring in some young assistant, getting his opportunity. I've coached some really good people over the course of his career. He comes in with a good resume. All indications, all players are excited about it. I think what they've done, starting with the draft to address some of those needs on defense. I think Greeny gets next year, and then you've got a healthy Dak Prescott. And unfortunately for them, we saw Joe Bengals a couple of years ago. When you have that kind of play position, typically that
Okay.
means good things.
All right, so we cannot hear my audio. Okay, I did something today. Can't hear. Okay, hold on. Let me see what I did here. I did a live stream somewhere else. Okay, let's try this. All right, let's try this again. All right, tell me if you can hear this.
When the season comes to an end, and yet for Dallas, they failed to even make the postseason.
All right,
can
y'all
that
hear this?
offense continue to play at the level that they did last year? And that's a big if. It was one of Dak Prescott's best years. It was George Pickens' career year. It was Javonte Williams' career year. I mean, there was a.
All right, just my voice. Okay. Let's try this again. All right, if not, I'll paraphrase again what Troy Aikman said that I don't understand. All right. All right, let's check this out.
A lot that happened on the offensive side of the ball. The numbers may not look as good. In fact, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you hope the offensive numbers don't look as good, because that would then mean that the defense is better and playing a much bigger role in the success of that team.
Yeah, and you.
Okay, so hold on. This is the part I want y'all to hear. All right, so everybody can hear Troy Aikman now? All right, let's go back. Listen to what he said right here.
The offense was so prolific last year, and then you've got a healthy Dak Prescott. And unfortunately for them, we saw it with Joe Burrow and the Bengals a couple of years ago. When you have that kind of play at the quarterback position, typically that means good things when the season comes to an end. And yet for Dallas, they failed to even make the postseason. Can that offense continue to play at the level that they did last year? And that's a big if.
So stop right there. Troy Aikman said, can they play at the same level they played last year? Okay. Maybe I'm the only one thinking this. Am I the only one who realizes or believes? Dare I say the Cowboys, while I won't say that they underachieved, the Cowboys' offense actually could have been better. Am I the only one who understands this? The offense could have been way better. How many times did the Cowboys go for it? How many times did the Cowboys go for it on fourth down and miss it? How many times did the Cowboys not make third downs and have to kick long field goals? How many drives stall for the Dallas Cowboys? How many times did Brian Schottenheimer call dumb plays in the red zone that either resulted in a fourth down miss, resulted in a field goal, or whatever the case may be? Do we not realize, in Troy Aikman, I'm telling you, this dude is hating, low-key hating. I showed y'all this the other day. Dak Prescott had years like he had last year before he got George Pickens. Do we not realize that Dak Prescott in this offense has actually been a top 5 offense multiple times? What? Stop it, Troy Aikman. Stop it. What are you talking about if? If, as long as Dak Prescott is healthy, you could line me up at wide receiver and Dak Prescott will throw for 4,000 yards. Stop it, Troy Aikman. Stop this madness. This is if, and a big if. How is it a big? If the offense can play the same level? Absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm telling y'all right now, if Brian Schottenheimer doesn't do at least the same, dare I say, if not better, offensively than last year, George Pickens, 2 years in the offense, Javonte Williams, 2 years in the offense, Ryan Flanoy emerging as a third great wide receiver, Michael Trigg coming onto the Dallas Cowboys? And you got the gall to say if? I'm sorry I'm not agreeing with Troy Aikman. I don't care what anybody say. I'm not agreeing with Troy Aikman. This is hatred. If the offense can be as good. What? This offense should have been better. It should have been better. We should have blew out the Arizona Cardinals. Should have scored more points on the Carolina Panthers. Should have scored more points on the Minnesota Vikings. Should have scored more points on the Detroit Lions. Come on, man. This dude is hating on such a level. And then people are just like, yeah, man, Troy spoke the truth. What? Man, stop this madness. It's madness. Troy Aikman was talking just goggly goop. And people were eating it up. Listen to the next part, and then we're going to move on. Listen to the next part.
It was one of Dak Prescott's best years. It was George Pickens' career year. It was Javonte Williams' career year. I mean, there was a lot that happened on the offensive side of the ball. The numbers may not look as good. In fact, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you hope the offensive numbers don't look as good, because that would then mean...
Wait. Let me tell y'all something right now. He just said something that is absolutely crazy to me, and I want you to hear it again. Listen to this. This is the craziest statement that he made.
The offensive side of the ball, the numbers may not look as good. In fact, I think if you're a Cowboys fan, you hope the offensive numbers don't look as good, because that would then mean that the defense is better and playing a much bigger role in the success of that team.
Yeah, and you mentioned Pickens. The way that seems...
Wait. If you are a Cowboy fan, you actually hope that the offense don't do as good? What? I still don't understand how people were saying, man, Troy Aikman said the truth. What? This has to be one of the dumbest. This is one of the dumbest statements. No. I don't want my defense to improve and my offense to fall off. I want my defense to improve and my offense to go off. What? This is dumb. It's absolutely dumb. Yeah, if you're a Cowboy fan, you actually don't want the offense to do as well. No. I want the offense to do as well, because that is a guaranteed Super Bowl appearance. What? We gotta stop listening to dumb comments. This is a dumb comment. Do we not realize If this defense is average and the offense does what it's supposed to do and absolutely go off, that's what guarantees you a Super Bowl. Why would we want to put our defense, why would we want to flip-flop now and say, yeah, the defense, now we don't want the offense to do as well. We want the defense to carry us. No, I don't want the defense to carry us. I want the offense, I want the defense. I want the defense to tear it up, and I want the offense to tear it up. I want them both to go off. Let me tell you why I am. Maybe I'm just different. Maybe I'm just different. I want the Cowboys to hold every single team in this league below 10 points while at the same time scoring 30-plus points per game. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't want no defensive battles. Yeah, the Cowboys won this week 13-10. I don't care. I want no 13-10. I want the Cowboys to strike fear. I want them to strike fear in everybody that they see. They can hold you to less than 13, and they put up 31. That's the team I want to see. I want to see a team that strikes fear. Not just defensively and offensively. What are we talking about? This had to be one of the dumbest statements. And people are like, yeah, man, Troy spoke the truth. Oh, what? There's no truth in that statement. If you're a Cowboy fan, you would actually want the offense to not do as good because that means the defense is doing its job. Wait, I don't understand that because, hold on. So if the offense is getting stops, getting off the field on third downs, stopping teams from scoring, getting turnovers, and even scoring some points defensively, if they get more stops, if they stop them on third down, if they get turnovers, that means the offense is going to get the ball more. So if the offense gets the ball more because the defense is doing its job, so you're telling me that that would equate to the offense not scoring as many points? Make this make sense. If the defense is doing its job with an offense as good as the Dallas Cowboys, no, they should be scoring more points. How do you score less points when your defense is doing better? How? How do you score less points? And why would we want our offense to score less points? It makes no sense. It was the dumbest statement, and I don't everybody jump, oh yeah, that is such a good story. What? It's just stupid. Stupid. Freddie Morales said anyone who co-signs those statements by Troy is either dumb or stupid or just don't know a darn thing about football. Freddie, I think I don't get it. It didn't make sense. Demetrius Noel said, gee, the part that angered me the most is the part about Dak regressing. Why would he make such demeaning statement? Troy Aikman needs to stay sober. He sounds drunk. Man, you can hear the hating in his voice. You can hear the hating in his voice, man. You can hear it. It's just pure hating. Bobby's hobby. Troy sounds jealous. Man, it don't make sense. Ron Hanna. Troy is being disingenuous. I don't understand why people were co-signing this stuff. If the defense is doing its part, this offense is going to score more points. Man, Christian, you just made another great point. You're going to get a shorter field. I have no clue what Troy Aikman is talking about. I have no clue what Troy's talking about on this. And I believe that because it's Troy Aikman, a lot of the media members didn't want to say that it didn't make sense what he said. They didn't want to say it. They just didn't want to say it because, oh, I dare you to disagree with Troy Aikman. Well, I'm glad that I'm a content creator because we can disagree with Troy Aikman. It just didn't make sense. I'm telling you, Incognito, it's crazy. It's crazy. Christian Kreiner, yards-wise, they would fall off. Yeah, now if you got the shorter fields, you might not get the yards. But the issue is you should get the points. Now, I actually don't expect, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I've already alluded to this already. I don't expect George Pickens to get the same amount of yards. A lot of us got to understand why George Pickens got all the yards that he got. CeeDee Lamb got hurt. CeeDee Lamb went out for what, 6 games? CeeDee Lamb was absent for about 6 games. So George stepped into CeeDee Lamb's spot and he started running the routes that CeeDee was running, and he became the primary wide receiver because in the beginning of the season, Dak and Brian Schottenheimer was struggling with, okay, how do we use George and CeeDee together? It wasn't until CeeDee went out and then CeeDee came back, they figured out how to use both of them together. That's how they figured it out. I didn't get what he was saying. I get it. It sounds like a bunch of hating to me about Troy Aikman. And I've heard some people say, oh, Troy Aikman wants the Cowboys to win. Does he? Does he want the Cowboys to win? I heard him say, I don't know about y'all. Maybe I'm missing something. I've never heard Troy Aikman say, since he's no longer been a player, I don't think I've heard Troy Aikman say he wants the Cowboys to win. Maybe he has. I just hadn't heard it. But I can tell you what I did hear. Troy Aikman said he wants the Miami Dolphins to win. And he sent a message to the NFL. He said there's no problem. There's no conflict of interest for me working for the Miami Dolphins. But he made it clear. He said, but I'm telling you this, I'm pulling for the Miami Dolphins. I heard him say that part. I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy. I haven't heard him say he hopes the Dallas Cowboys win since he left the Dallas Cowboys. It's like he's been reluctant to say that as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys because he didn't want people to think he was biased as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys. But now that he works for the Miami Dolphins, he wanted the whole league to know, oh, I'm not saying there's a conflict of interest, but I am going to tell you this. I want to see the Miami Dolphins win. That's what he said. I haven't heard him say it about the Cowboys. All right, so we're getting close to 7 o'clock. We're gonna go to the schedule release here in just a moment. But I want you to look at something else that was said here. Dan Graziano. I really believe Dan Graziano was kind of being Captain Obvious here.
Yes! Here we go!
I believe Dan Graziano is being Captain Obvious here. But Dan Graziano has 2026 NFL offseason making sense of 10 lingering questions. The Dallas Cowboys are one of those lingering questions that he has. And so he basically answered, why didn't the Cowboys extend George Pickens? Why didn't the Dallas Cowboys extend George Pickens? So Graziano kind of answers this. Let me go down to the explanation. Let me see. Because actually there's two things. I want to show you the thing he said about Caleb Downs, and then I'm going to show you about Pickens, but we'll work Caleb Downs in too. So just getting to the meat and potatoes of what he's talking about with George Pickens. He said there are explanations for why the Cowboys were able to get a player as talented as Pickens from the Steelers a year ago for only a 3rd-round pick. Just as there are explanations for why no team sent him an offer sheet after Dallas tagged him. Pickens' time in Pittsburgh included persistent questions about consistency and focus, and while the Cowboys' 2025 experience with him was positive, it's not unreasonable for them to wait another season before making the kind of commitment his own field performance deserves on its own. So there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there. 3 reasons in a sense. One, kind of like what happened in Pittsburgh. Teams around the NFL are still looking at what happened in Pittsburgh. We've already talked about the Cowboys. They're not so much focused on Pittsburgh. I believe the Cowboys are focused on what he did in Dallas. They want to see more of that. And then he mentions up in here also, there are a few reasons for the Cowboys to want to see Pickens do it again before deciding whether to commit to him long term. And this is one that Poobie D, I believe, is kind of talked about in the grand scheme of things. They're already paying wide receiver CeeDee Lamb an average of $34 million per year. And carrying two of the highest paid receivers in the league would be a salary cap challenge. Now, let me say why I mentioned Poobie D. CeeDee Lamb is established. You can clearly justify CeeDee Lamb. But what Graziano is alluding to is, but just seeing George Pickens do what he did for 1 year, maybe it's not a problem with paying both of them as much as paying both of them, and then you pay George Pickens, and then George Pickens gets an attitude again. I don't think that's going to happen, but I believe Graziano, because you've already seen what he said down here at the bottom, it makes sense for the Cowboys to want to see it another year. But if you're going to commit $80 million to your wide receiver room, you better make sure that those wide receivers are the right kind of ilk, because you're stuck with them once you pay both of them. And it says he doesn't have as much in the bank with them as he would had it been the team that drafted him. And so the Cowboys, he's only been here 1 year. They like what they've seen for 1 year. They just want to see one more year. Do I like it? No. Do I like it? No. But if I step back and look at it objectively, I guess I can understand it. I guess I can understand it. But if it was me, I would probably go ahead and do this thing with George Pickens. I would put a lot of behavior clauses in the contract. I'm telling you, I'd put a bunch of behavior clauses in the contract. Because I believe even if he gets signed after he's no longer with the Cowboys, wherever he goes, I think there will be a lot of behavior clauses in the chat, a lot of behavior clauses in the contract. Hey, Queen, what is going on, Queen? And then there's another lingering question that he had about why didn't the New York Giants draft Caleb Downs? I don't know if you saw that, but he was saying why didn't the Giants draft Caleb Downs with the 10th pick? It says they felt they'd made their defensive pick at number 5 when Reese was still there. I think there's a chance they'd have taken Downs at number 5 if Reese had been picked in the top 4. But what became clear to me after the draft and talking to people around the situation is that the Giants were determined to use one of their 2 top 10 picks on an offensive player in an effort to support second-year quarterback Jackson Dart. That could have meant running back Jeremiah Love if he had been there at 5. It could have meant wide receivers Cornell Tate or Jordan Tyson if they had been there at number 10. Ultimately, it meant locking in the player the Giants identified as the best offensive lineman in the draft to help fortify Jackson Dart's protection. Makes perfect sense. And I'm telling you right now, I'm so glad that Harbaugh did that. It's one of the best things Harbaugh did for the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you. Appreciate what he did right there. That logic is what helped the Dallas Cowboys to land one Caleb Downs. All right, so got about 5 more minutes before the scheduled drop, which I'm sure a lot of people have already seen some of this stuff. So we're going to put the Stephen Jones conversation, we're going to put that on the backside of the schedule. And also we'll put the Super Bowl schedule on the backside of that schedule too, of that schedule too. So we got about 4 minutes. So I'm just going to read some comments and Frank Lawrence, super chats. Frank Lawrence, thanks for all the super chats. Frank Lawrence, he says, not safe for George Pickens to play on the franchise tag is bunk. Well, I'll say this, Frank Lawrence. He's going to take a chance. But the part that I'm still not understanding is skipping the voluntaries. Skipping the voluntaries when if you're working out somewhere else, you can get hurt too. And Mike Florio made a point the other day that I think is a valid point when you think about it in a vacuum. What if George Pickens is working out outside of the Cowboys facility and got injured? And the Cowboys challenged paying him? Well, I mean, what would happen? I mean, if I'm going to work out, I don't know. And I don't know if this is some kind of precedent or not. I don't know if it's some kind of precedent, but I don't know if a player has ever gotten hurt. And I'm sure there's a player that's probably done it, that's gotten hurt while on a franchise tag outside of being in the facility or at the facility. And I wonder if a team challenged them on paying them. I mean, I'd have to do some research on that, but I just wonder. Frank Lawrence said Troy likeness to Chihuahua nipping at our ankles. Yeah. Frank Lawrence, I really think Troy is expressing his displeasure with the Cowboys not giving him the same job that the Miami Dolphins gave him. Frank Lawrence said Troy knows 2026 Cowboys Super Bowl path through every good team in the league will dwarf the 92, 93, 95 titles. Knows Dak's a better QB1 who finally has a shot at greatness. Frank Lawrence, I'm telling you right now, if Dak Prescott wins one Super Bowl, I guarantee he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. He already has first ballot Hall of Famer numbers. All right, so Tatiana said that the schedule is already on the Dallas Cowboys page. All right. See if we can check it out. Tatiana, welcome to the congregation today. Good to see you. All right, let's check it out. Whatever here on DallasCowboys.com. See what the schedule is. All right, NFL announces Cowboys 2026 schedule. Well, all right, let's go. Let's go. All right, let's see what we're working with here. All right. So when we look at the Dallas Cowboys preseason schedule, looks like the Cowboys will be playing the Seattle Seahawks at Seattle. So it looks like we're going to see the Seattle Seahawks twice this year. Preseason week number 2, we will be playing the Arizona Cardinals. So now it looks like we're going to be playing the Arizona Cardinals twice. Week number 3, preseason, we will be playing the New Orleans Saints. So that will be our preseason schedule. Well, all right, let me change this up a little bit. All right, let's do a little bit of different music here now. This is the regular season for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see what we're working with. So, week 1, we will be playing the New York Football Giants. 7:20 p.m. Week number 2, we will be playing the Washington Commanders at Washington. What? At Washington. Hold on a second. Game number 1, New York Giants. Game number 2, at Washington. Somebody said they wouldn't do it, and they did it. And I said I was afraid of this. The Cowboys did it. The Cowboys actually have 3 road games in a row, but they're counting the Baltimore Ravens game as a home game. Come on, man. That is crazy. They're counting the Baltimore Ravens game as a home game. That is banana bonkers. So in essence, the Cowboys will be on the road 3 weeks in a row, and they're not getting that home game back. Brazil, that is not a home game. NFL can call it what the heck they want to. That is not a home game. That is not a home game. The Cowboys will be in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Brazil. September 27th, 3:25 p.m. That's crazy. Okay, hold on. I thought that was in Washington. Hold on. Am I wrong on that? That says the Cowboys versus Washington Commanders. Versus I thought normally meant that you were on the road. Okay, I got that wrong. Okay. Thank you, Poobie D. Before I got too far. All right. So they didn't do it, but I thought they did it. The Dallas Cowboys, Washington Commanders is at Dallas. I thought normally when you are the versus Dallas versus Washington, I thought that was, maybe I'm mixed up on that. Let's see, how did they label this one? Okay, so they do, okay, Dallas at the Giants and then Dallas versus Washington. All right, I got it. Because normally when you say versus, that means you are visiting, but I got it. Okay, so let's go to week 4. Week number 4. After making a 10-hour flight from Brazil, the Dallas Cowboys will be at the Houston Texans. So they will be on the road again. But that is still 3 out of 4 games on the road. I'm not counting that doggone Rio de Janeiro game at home. I don't care what nobody say. That ain't no home game, man. That ain't no stinking home game. That ain't no stinking home game, man. First 4 games, Dallas Cowboys, 3 out of those 4 games will not be at AT&T Stadium. How about we put it like that? So the Dallas Cowboys will come back after the long flight there and the long flight back from Rio de Janeiro. I really think that maybe they should have figured out a way, just if you ask me, if the Cowboys played Brazil on a Sunday, it seems like to me they should have let the Cowboys play on a Thursday of the week after. You know, maybe give them a 10-day break, but I guess they don't do this for any team. So the Cowboys are going to come back from Brazil, and then they're going to fly, at least it'll be in Texas, so they'll be playing Houston. That'll be the 4th game of the year. 4th game of the year. All right. 5th game of the year. The Dallas Cowboys will go from Houston, come back home, and they will be playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a Thursday night. So, let's get this part straight. This is kind of crazy to me. So the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to play week 2, September 20th, 3:25. Then they're going to cop a plane, go over to Brazil. Long flight, 10 hours, I'm thinking of something like that. Go 10 hours there, 10 hours back. They're going to come back, which will probably be a short week because they're going to have to get some rest. They're going to play the Houston Texans on that Sunday at 12. Not 3, not 7, but 12. And come back on that Thursday. So they got a game on the 4th of October, a game on the 8th of October, 7:15 p.m. on a Thursday, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here we go with these crazy bunch games. Here we go with these crazy bunch games for the Dallas Cowboys. These crazy bunch games. So I'm sure so now we're going to get that 10-day break. 10-day break. Cowboys will come back and play. Wow. This is a break right here, though. The Dallas Cowboys will be playing the Green Bay Packers, and they will be playing them in week 6, October the 18th. Shouldn't be too cold in Green Bay. That's a break. That's a break right there. Miss Matrix, what's going on? We're looking at the schedule. Don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the 5 game, the 5 game, the 5 games stacked together, because the Rio de Janeiro game is what really makes the first 5 games kind of be a little bit kooky. Because you threw a Thursday night game in there. And that's the part that makes it crazy to me. We're going to come back to that because that's the first bunch game that I'm seeing. Yeah, Sam Harper said that's a crazy stretch. That is a crazy stretch, isn't it? That's a crazy stretch. They then come back, Green Bay, they're going to Green Bay. Thankfully, that's early. Man, from what I'm hearing, that might be Michael Parsons' first game back. October the 18th could absolutely be Michael Parsons' first game back. Could be his first game back. Demetrius Noel said, gee, they did the same thing last year, 4 games in 18 days. Now, Demetrius Noel, what makes this one more crazy, though, is Rio de Janeiro, where it is, how long it takes to get there and how long it takes to get back. That's what makes that bunch of games crazy right there. That's what makes that bunch of game crazy. All right, so we come back, week 6, Green Bay Packers. Thankfully, that's early, though, so I'm going to give that one as a break. I like that. Then we're going to play Philly Monday, 10/26. So if I'm not mistaken, I've already counted 3 primetime games for the Cowboys. Is this kind of where we are? 3 primetime games so far. Opening up on a Sunday night, Thursday night. Who was that one? Was that the Arizona Cardinals? We'll go over the schedule again. And then we got week 6. Week 6 is on a Sunday, but then week 6, 7:20 p.m., Green Bay Packers. So that's 3 primetime games already, too. 3 primetime games. The NFL knows who butters the bread for it. 3 primetime games. And if I'm not mistaken, we're actually going to come back again Sunday, 7:20 p.m. Week 7, we come back on a Monday, 7:15 p.m. Is that 4 primetime games already? That is 4. That is 4 primetime games for the Cowboys. That is 4 primetime games for the Cowboys in the first 7 weeks of the season. This is crazy. This is crazy work, man. This is crazy work. All right, hold on. So, we come back week 8, Arizona Cardinals. We're going to circle that game because for some reason the Cardinals always have our number. 4 primetime games in the first 7 weeks. Then we come back 12 o'clock and go to Indianapolis, 12 p.m. San Francisco 49ers. We played them at AT&T Stadium, 3:25, which will probably be the game of the week. All right, week 11, 11:22. Dallas Cowboys will be playing the Tennessee Titans, 12 p.m. All right, Thanksgiving, the Dallas Cowboys will be playing the Philadelphia Eagles. We already knew that. So here we go. The Cowboys are going to play quite a few games in this stretch. So we got 22. We're going to have 22, 26, and then we get the bye week. So we're going to play those 3 games in, what is that, like 17 days? Yeah, we're going to have the Titans. We'll have the Colts, the Titans, and the Eagles, 3, another bunch game. So I'm not really worried about that one. We know we do that one all the time. So then we're going to get the break. Week 13, coming out the break, Seattle Seahawks, 5th primetime game. This will be the 6th primetime game because Thanksgiving will be a primetime game in the grand scheme of things. So that'll be 6 primetime games if you're counting Thanksgiving. We'll come back 7:15 and play the defending Super Bowl champions in week 13, Seattle Seahawks. Then we'll get our bye week, which is going to be so desperately needed by the Cowboys by that time. They'll come back and play the Los Angeles Rams, week 15. That is going to be in Los Angeles. Then we're going to play the Jaguars in Dallas. Another primetime game. I'm counting the 7th primetime game for the Dallas Cowboys. That will be 12/27. Then we're going to come back week 17. We're going to play the New York Giants at noon. And then we're going to play the Washington Commanders week 18 after already having 7 primetime games. So basically they're saying in week 18, if the Cowboys and the Washington Commanders are playing for some type of playoff spot, then they're probably going to move that game to a primetime spot also. So that is the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Now, I'll be honest with you, looking at this schedule, I really believe the Dallas Cowboys will be battling, again, as I told y'all before, I really believe the Cowboys will be battling the schedule as far as the way that they have it scheduled more than they will be battling the teams. more than they will be battling the teams. So just kind of going back through that one more time so I can get so now that we've seen it. So G-Man, yeah, Brandy, we living in prime time. What was that, basically 7 games? Seven games with the 8th primetime game to be determined, basically. That's 7 primetime games, man. Man, NFL know what this is. NFL know what this is, man. Poobie D said 11-6. All right, let's run back through these real quick. Let's run back through these one quick time. All right, so let's get this one more time. Game 1 will be the New York Giants, and that will be in New York. I'm still saying the Dallas Cowboys win. I'm still saying the Cowboys beat the New York Giants. I believe the Cowboys are going to sweep the Giants this year. I really do. I think they're going to sweep the Giants. I believe they will beat the Giants. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I believe the Cowboys. I'm calling the Cowboys beating the Giants. I believe they beat the Giants. I want to make a list while I'm doing this. Hold on. All right. This is just preliminary, but I got the Cowboys beating the Giants. I also have the Dallas Cowboys beating the Commanders. I believe they will beat the Commanders in Dallas. I'm going to tell y'all right now, man. I believe this Rio de Janeiro game is going to be tough. The travel, Ravens on a foreign field. We're just talking preliminary now. We reserve the right to change our minds as the season gets closer. But this is just our first reaction. You know what? The Cowboys. This is one of those games I got to put a question mark by. Ravens are going to have a brand new defense. Cowboys are going to have a brand new defense in a sense. Brand new defense coordinator. I'm just kind of wondering, what would they look like against Lamar Jackson? I mean, Lamar Jackson is going to be tough. He's going to be a tough out. Running quarterbacks have killed the Dallas Cowboys over the last few years. Running quarterbacks are tough on them, man. I would put an L by this, a question mark, and an L just on first reaction. Cowboys, Houston Texans. This is going to be another tough out. I'm telling y'all right now, man, these doggone Texans are a different breed. Texans defense is crazy. This is another one I'd have to put a question mark by. The Houston Texans defense is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. It really is. Let me read a couple comments here as I get to the Houston Texans game. Michael says the Cowboys are going 5-1 in the East. You know what? I could agree. I agree with you on that. I think it's possible. Brandon says he believes we're in close games in the first part of the season. I'm telling you, I just think these first 5 games are going to be tough. Ravens and Rio de Janeiro is going to be tough. They're tough. They're just tough for the Cowboys, period, because of who Lamar Jackson is. And I think he's going to run that Cowboys defense ragged. But we're going to see what they're made of when they play the Ravens. Texans, man, I'm telling you right now, I don't believe in their offense, but I do believe in the Houston Texans defense. Houston Texans defense is stupid. It's stupid good. It really is. Yeah, it's amazing that the Washington Commanders won the championship game 2 years ago. I don't think Dan Quinn will sniff it again. Jaden Justin, what's going on? He said if this defense looks any part they could, I smell 13-4 as the ceiling, 10-7 as the floor. I could get with that. Megan Sedone, I ain't talking Super Bowl. I feel you on that. Ron Hanna said, for some reason, I feel like we'll be in the game in Brazil. I'm struggling on that one. G-Man 670. He said first L. You talking about the Houston Texans or the Brazil game? Bad said we're gonna smack the Packers. We're gonna get there in just a second. Frank Lawrence said Dallas beat Philly on opening day last year, except for drop back. Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I feel you on that. Sebastian just 9-8. Yeah, posted. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, we had a. Yeah. DC was terrible. Terrible, not terrible. Sandy's fan show. Hey, let me tell you something. Caleb Downs gonna make his presence known. Miss Major said her tickets are already on sale. I'm not sure. It seemed like I heard some people saying I've already bought some tickets or something. Frank Lawrence, you are right. This schedule is full of hard teams. Ain't none of them like yeah. Yeah, this is some hard teams. Bass, this is my only reservation about the Texans is their quarterback. But that defense is championship level, man. It is. That's kind of why I'm kind of like what the Texans defense is like. Man, I mean, this schedule makes me realize how many questions need to be answered about Brian Schottenheimer. How much better will the defense be? What up, Jamil Gregory? Brooklyn in the house. What up? I'm really wondering. Lisa Worley says 11-6. Real Estate Vet says that the Ravens have Hendrickson now. Bobby's Hobby, I agree with you. He said the Cowboys will become more powerful as the year goes on because the defense will take more time to gel and then will start carrying them through, and that will be the difference into the Super Bowl. I can get with that. Larry Hunter, the division game against the Giants will be a good test. Let me tell you something. I think it's going to be a great game too. But I just don't think they're going to be healthy enough to beat the Cowboys. Yeah, Big Dub, he said 2-2 in the first 4 weeks. I'm kind of there. Ooh. Man, those first 4 games could go either way. Let's get to the 5th game because that's the first bunch of games this year. Thankfully, we only got 2. And then we're going to play the 3rd game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at AT&T Stadium. I'm going to give the Cowboys the win. I'm going to give the Cowboys the win on that one. I'm going to give them the win against the Bucs. So if I was a betting man, and I'm going to break the season down into thirds. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break it down into thirds. And then the Cowboys will have their 6th game of the season against the Green Bay Packers. 10-8? That's a Thursday night game. I hate the fact they're doing this to the Cowboys. That the Cowboys have to play the Green Bay Packers coming right off of a Bucs game. So those are the first 6 games of the season. That is tough. Man, I'm telling you, that's a... Boy, you won't talk about a hard schedule. That is tough, man. First 6 games of the season. Giants, Commanders, Ravens in Rio de Janeiro, Texans, Super Bowl level defense, Bucs, really tough team, Green Bay Packers. But you know what? I'm giving the Cowboys the victory against the Green Bay Packers. I don't think the Green Bay Packers are going to be the same. If I'm looking at the first third of the season for the Dallas Cowboys, in one combination or another, y'all tell me what y'all think in the first third of the season. I'm giving the Dallas Cowboys in the first third of the season 4-2. I'm giving them 4-2 in the first 6 games. That's kind of where I am. First 6 games, I'm giving them 4-2. That's my first third. Anthony Harding, he said, we have a hard schedule. Yes, because Dallas finished second in the conference, which they did not make the playoffs, and it is supposed to help our schedule. Yeah, and then they gave the Philadelphia Eagles an easier schedule than us. What's up, One Chino? He said, whatever game you think we win by landslide, go with the opposite team. Thanks to FanDuel. Man, I'm going to tell you something. Betting is one of the worst things they introduced into this sport. I'm serious. Rose said he going to the game in Houston. Terry Tatum says 11-6 or 10-7. Gregory Davis says week 3 Ravens versus Cowboys. The Ravens are going to travel from Maryland to Rio. Yet the Cowboys are going from Texas to Rio. Baltimore have an 18-hour flight. Cowboys 10. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you there, Gregory Davis. Oh, that kind of sheds a little bit of light on it, a little different light on that game. Okay. I'm still going Cowboys 4-2. 4-2. First 6 games of the season. 4-2. Demetrius Noel said, gee, Shotty better be creative and his play calling better be top 10 or we may very well be disappointed. See, let me add on to what Troy Aikman said. I'm not actually worried about Dak Prescott being productive. I'm not worried about Javonte Williams. I'm not worried about George Pickens. I'm more concerned about the play calling. If Brian Schottenheimer can be more creative with his play calling, I think the Cowboys offense will be way better. Sam Harper says 4-2. I'm with you, G. Yeah, Jamil Gregory says 4-2. I'm kind of like 4-2. I'm thinking 4-2 in the first third of the season. That's kind of where I am. Miss Major said, which game are you going to, G? I'm not sure. My wife has already been on me, Miss Matrix, about going to a game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can do a game and get back in time and do a doggone live stream. So we're going to see. We're going to see. What up, Mills? Mills, what? 5-1? Mills said 5-1 first 6 games. Jay Witness, here are the 2 losses that I'm looking at. I'm looking at, now Gregory has got me thinking a little bit different now. So let me give you this block. I'm thinking between the Ravens, the Texans, and the Bucks. There could be a loss, a couple of losses there. But Gregory got me kind of leaning towards this thing on the Baltimore Ravens now. He got me kind of thinking, okay, maybe the Cowboys might be able to pull this thing off against the Baltimore Ravens. But we're going to see. Again, this is our preliminary. We got to get out of the preseason to get real. Yeah, Jose said that Nick Harris on Twitter said the early stretch is crazy with the Cowboys. It is. And again, let me tell us why. At least from my perspective, Jose. This is why I believe this schedule is hard for the Cowboys. For me, it's actually not the opponent as much as it is the schedule, as in the timing of the schedule. You're going to play the Giants a Sunday night. You're going to play the Giants a Sunday night. You're going to play the Washington Commanders Sunday. So a Sunday. Then you're going to Rio de Janeiro. You're going to play the Ravens. Then you're going to fly back, play the Texans on 10-4, and then you're going to have a game on Thursday? Who did this? Who is this crazy person? You fly back from Rio de Janeiro, play Houston, and then you play on Thursday? This is crazy work. That's crazy work. Boy, that's a heck of a stretch. That's a heck of a stretch. It's not the games as much to me as it is the scheduling. All right, let's get to the second third. Let's get to the second third of the season. Second third of the season. The Dallas Cowboys will see the Philadelphia Sheagles, as y'all like to call them. And that will be on a Monday night. The Dallas Cowboys will be at Philly. As much as I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles, I could see the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Dallas Cowboys at home. I could see it. Because I think this is the only team the Cowboys are actually going to split with in the division. I think it's the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the only team I think the Cowboys are going to split with. I think they sweep the Commanders. I think they sweep the Giants. I see them splitting with the Philadelphia Eagles. I really do. It's going to be a tough game, just like it was the opening game last year. But I think the Eagles may edge out the Cowboys in Philly. Then we're going to see the Arizona Cardinals. Man, let me tell you something. We better beat the Arizona Cardinals. That's all I'm saying. We better beat the Arizona Cardinals. Man, this team has beat us too many times when they should not be beating us. We better beat the Arizona Cardinals. I'm calling the Arizona Cardinals a win on a threat. I mean a threat, man. They better beat the Arizona Cardinals. Man, come on, man. We're going to have our hands full with Jeremiah Love, though. I mean, Jeremiah Love should start hitting the stride by the time we see him. I'm giving the Cowboys the Colts game. I believe the Cowboys are going to beat the Colts. I'm very excited about the Dallas Cowboys versus the 49ers. Very excited that we're going to get them in Dallas. I believe the Cowboys are going to beat the 49ers. Man, hold on a second. Boy, you just reminded me of something 70s Fans Show. You know what? 70s Fans Show. Hold on. 70s Fans Show got me thinking. Hold on. I forgot. No A.J. Brown. I forgot no A.J. Brown. You know what else I forgot, 70s Fans Show, while we're thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles? I forgot about Christian Parker coming from Philly. I'm going to circle the block after I get to these next two games. I'm going to come back to the Philly game. I'm actually going to come back to the Philly game. I just thought about Christian Parker and no A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown will be a New England Patriot post June 1st. Hold on a second. Let me go back. All right, so we got San Fran. Tennessee Titans. I'm going to tell you right now, Cowboys don't beat the Titans. Brian Schottenheimer should be fired for at least 3 games. At least 3. Not the whole season, but 3 games. I believe the Cowboys beat the Tennessee Titans. Cowboys will see the Philadelphia Eagles again on Thanksgiving. Okay, hold on. Let me go. So second third of the season. 70s Fans Show, you got me torn right now. I'm struggling right here. Let me tell you right now, this is going to be an exciting season for us. The second part of this Dallas Cowboys season is going to be the defining moment. The second third of this Cowboys season is going to be the defining moment. This is it. Philly, Cardinals, Colts, 49ers, Titans, and Eagles. Do y'all know the Cowboys could possibly go 6-0 right there? The Dallas Cowboys could literally go 6-0 from Philly to the Eagles. No less than 5-1. They should be able to handle up on every single one of those teams. The only 2 of these teams that even give me a thought of could be a challenge would be the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles at home. I'm telling you, man, this second third of that season, the Cowboys could go 6-0. They really could go 6-0. They really could go 6-0 right there. Rose, that game is not going to be easy because of the running back, but I'm fully confident. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be the same. And we don't even know if Daniel Jones will be ready, but I don't think he's going to be the same. I'm good with that. I'm good with that Colts game. The game that I think is going to be tough, 49ers. The 49ers are going to be tough. Kyle Shanahan is always a tough out. Shanahan's going to be tough. I believe the Cowboys could pull out a 5-1, 6-0 wins in that third part of the season. All right, let's go back. Let's continue to move. So after the Cowboys finish on Thanksgiving, Cowboys will have that break. They come back in December. Boy, this right here. Cowboys at Seattle. Cowboys at Seattle, another primetime game. It's going to be tough. I'm going to give the Cowboys the win in Seattle. But I'm gonna reserve I'm gonna come back here in just a moment. Cowboys will get their bye week. They're gonna be at the Rams. I'm telling you right now, this is the playoffs right here. This is the playoffs. The Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. This is going to be the Cowboys' playoff measuring stick. They will see these. They will see one of these two teams again in the playoffs. They're going to see them again in the playoffs. If I had to choose between the Cowboys losing to either the Rams or the Hawks on the road, this is man. This, hey man, this right here, man. You going to Seattle and then you go to the Rams. Ooh wee! I'm gonna give the Rams. I'm gonna give the Rams the victory in Los Angeles. I'm gonna give the Rams the victory. Cowboys will come back home against the Jags. I'm gonna give that the win. The Cowboys will then see the New York Football Giants. And that one will be at AT&T Stadium. I'm going to call that one a win. Cowboys will play the Commanders. I'm going to call that a win. That's to be determined. Now, so in the last third of the Cowboys season, this is my preliminary record for the Dallas Cowboys. This is my preliminary record. It is not, no, we don't have to take this as gospel. This is the preliminary record for the Dallas Cowboys. So the first third of the season, I have the Dallas Cowboys 4-2. The second stretch of the Cowboys season, I see them either going 5-1 or 6-0. Let's just say 5-1. And then I have the Cowboys going 4-1 in the last 5 games. So if you were to add that up, the Cowboys would finish their season 13-4. That's a 13-4 season. Now, if you give a margin of error, let's just say this is just preliminary. I would say the Cowboys would be 12-5. I would say the Cowboys would be 12-5. I would say at the bare minimum, the Cowboys would be 10-7. I believe somebody said this earlier. I think it was Justin. I'm kind of the belief that the Cowboys floor is 10-7. That's the floor. Anything below 10-7, I'm not going to say it's a failure, but anything below 10-7, something went haywire. Something went haywire if you're just talking about 10-7. If the Cowboys are hitting on all cylinders, if the Cowboys hit on all cylinders, 13-4 is possible. But I'll settle somewhere in the middle at 12-5. That would be the Cowboys. That would be the Cowboys. All right, I got one Chino. I got 13-4, 12-5, 10-7. Those are the 3 numbers I got. Tell me what you think. But I'm telling you right now, Miss Matrix, if there is a team the Cowboys should circle on their schedule, it ought to be the Arizona Cardinals. And if it was me, I'd be circling the Seattle Seahawks. I'm telling you now, I'm tired of hearing, I am so tired of hearing DeMarcus Lawrence talk. We got to stop this man. We got to stop DeMarcus Lawrence. We got to stop this man from running his lips. He talked too much. And the only way you stop him from talking is winning. You got to stop him. Tired of hearing DeMarcus Lawrence. JP the Goo, he going all in. He said the first third is going to be 6-0. He said the second third is going to be 5-1. What you got in the third? Let me see. JP the Goo, let me see what he got in the third. The third, he got 5-1. He got 6-0 in the first and the second. Third, he got 5-1. Oh, I see you. Yeah, Jamil Gregory, man, I think Cowboys gonna go. They're gonna go ham, man. They're gonna go crazy. But I'm gonna tell you the most important part. Well, this entire schedule. Let's go back through this schedule one more time. There are going to be some flashpoints in this schedule. Let's go through it one more time. Let's go through this schedule the third time. Because I see some flashpoint moments. There are what I'm going to call these flashpoint moments as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Let's go over this schedule one more time. Flashpoint moments in the Dallas Cowboys season. Michael Postel, I believe Dak Prescott is getting over the hump. I agree with you. And the reason why I think he's getting over the hump is because he's going to have the team around him. This is what I believe. I believe the team around him is going to help him to achieve what he's been needing to achieve. The team around him, the coaches around him, they are giving him the pieces. They're giving him the pieces. Kimberly Hunt, what's going on? Yeah, we got to shut DeMarcus Lawrence up, Kimberly. We got to shut DeMarcus Lawrence up. Sam Harp, I'm telling you now, hey, man, the Rams, I said this already, I'm going to say it again. Dak Prescott, I think, was 1 year premature. Dak Prescott told the owner of the Los Angeles Rams we would see them in the NFC Championship game. I think there's a chance that we see that this year. I really do. So let's go to the flashpoint moment. Because I see some flashpoint moments in this Dallas Cowboys season. Let's skip up to the front. Let's get back over here to the front of this schedule. The New York Giants game is going to be a flashpoint moment for the Cowboys. This is a flashpoint moment. The first game of the season is going to be the culmination of the hiring of Christian Parker, the hiring of B.T. Jordan, the drafting of Caleb Downs, the free agency of Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, the second full season. It will be the first full season of Quinnen Williams. We're going to see the second season for Kenny Clark in Dallas. This is the flashpoint moment. George Pickens, his campaign begins for $40 million. This is the flashpoint moment. The New York Giants game. This is a game that you get to put the league on notice. You cannot let the lack of neighbors, Scatty Boo, and the way that the Giants could possibly look, Jackson Dart second season, you cannot allow the New York Giants to beat you in the first game of the season. Dak Prescott has pretty much owned the New York Giants. This is a flashpoint moment. They got to beat the Giants. They have to. They have to beat the Giants. It's a flashpoint moment. You got to set the pace for your season. Don't start your season 0-1 like you did last year. There is no comfort in we almost beat them. We don't need no consolation wins because consolation wins don't matter on your record at the end of the season. They cannot open up like they did last year. They must beat the New York Giants in game number 1. This is a flashpoint moment for the Cowboys. First game of the season. I see you, G-Man. First game of the season. First game of the season, we have to beat the Arizona Cardinals, y'all. We have to beat them. This is it. You got to let everyone know we're ready. And I know it's Christian Parker's first year, but he got players. Christian Parker got players, y'all. I mean, this ain't this dude first year and he ain't got no players. He got a coaching staff. And dare I add, they gave him BT Jordan. They gave Christian Parker BT Jordan. I know it's his first year. I'm not saying he has to be a top 10 defense. Nah, but I'm just telling us now. Nah, we got to see something, y'all. I'm telling us now. We got to see something. We got to see the Christian Parker effect. It can't be like it's been the last 2 or 3 seasons. A new defensive coordinator come in. Mike Zimmer comes in. It takes all the way to Thanksgiving to kind of get things on track, and it's still off track. We bring in Matt Eberflus. It was never on track. It was on track for 2 or 3 games, but it really wasn't on track. Now, when you hire Christian Parker, I'm not telling you he has to be top 10, but what I am telling you in the first game of the season, now he got to show us something, y'all. He got to show us something. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he got to show us. I'm not telling us he got to start out first, number 1 in the NFL. No, he got to show us something. Dominique Pittman, let me tell you something. They're going to give him more players. The Cowboys are not done. I promise you. They're not done. They're not done with player acquisition. You watch what happens post June 1st. Watch what happens when the preseason is over with. The Cowboys are going to add some more pieces. You watch what I tell you. They're not done with player acquisition. They're going to go on a vacation now for the next couple of weeks. Schedule got released today. My understanding is they're going on vacation. No. When they come back from vacation, player acquisition begins again. And the Cowboys are going to monitor. You watch what I tell you. They will not be as dumb as they were last year. When the Cowboys go to Oxnard, California, and whether it be the Chargers they bring in or whether it be the Rams, and I'm hoping it's the Rams. We need to see the Rams because I believe it's going to be the Rams. It's going to be the team that we're going to see in the playoffs. It needs to be the Rams. I want to see them play the Rams. And if the Rams mollywop the Cowboys again, you watch what I tell you. They will make improvements on this team some more. They're going to get more players. Book it. They're going to get more players. You watch what I tell you. Yeah, Ron Hanna. He said, no, we need BTA out the gate. You ain't lying. Yeah. Straight up. I'm telling us right now. I'm not saying that he got to go shut the Giants out, but I am telling you, we need to see the Christian Parker effect. We need to see it. Ryx, a fan, appreciate that super chat. He said, I'm not worried. Real defense travels. All eyes on Christian Parker. Ryx, a fan. Exactly. I'm telling you right now, we got to see Christian Parker out the gate. We got to see him out the gate. We do. We got to see him out the gate. Now, I'm telling you, Dominique, they're going to get more players. Dominique, let me tell you something about the Cowboys that people are disregarding. They know what they need. I'm not going to pretend that they don't, because some people act like the Cowboys don't know what they need. They know what they need. They know what they need. And what they're going to do is they're going to get into some of these camps and see how everything is going. And if need be, they're going to bring in somebody else. Watch what I tell you. They're not done. Michael Postel, let me tell you something. Man, I've been hearing about Snead, and let me tell you, if y'all didn't know this, Snead had a very serious court case going on. And if I'm not mistaken, the court case has been going on for 2 years. It was serious. It was some kind of allegations involving a female, I believe. And if you don't think something like that hanging over your head bothers you, man, it'll affect you in ways you'll never believe. When your life is about to be taken away from you, I had a family member went through it. Turned his hair pure white. Turned his hair pure white. Couldn't dye it fast enough. Turned pure white. He had a court case hanging over his head for about 2 to 3 years. And when no hair dye could do him justice. Turned his hair pure white, man. Pure white. So if I'm not mistaken, Snead has got this from over his head if he's the guy I'm thinking about. Yeah, Star Garden Nash, appreciate that super chat. He said, I need to see the Park effect starting the scrimmage of preseason games. Yeah, man, because I'm telling you, we got to hit the ground running. Just being honest. Now, I'm not putting unrealistic expectations on it. Understand what I'm saying, Dominique. I think I'm very clear. I'm not saying that Christian Parker has to have the Dallas Cowboys as the #1 defense out the gate. But we have to see the effect of Christian Parker out the gate. Out of the gate, we have to see it. We have to see how was his 3-4 working? How was his 4-2 working? I mean, how was his 5-2 working? How are these things working? We got to see the Christian Parker effect out the gate. Got to see it out the gate. Yeah, he beat it, Tatiana. He finally beat it. That's what they were talking about. He beat it. And so it's no longer over his head. I got a feeling wherever Snead goes, Tatiana, he going to play different. I think Snead going to play different. Now, I'll be honest with you, when you think about players, Dominique, I really think the Cowboys in the defensive back room, they could actually go with what they have. They just may actually go with what they have in the defensive back room. But the place that I do think the Cowboys are probably going to try to make that next step is if there is a pass rusher out there available that they think that can come in and tear it up, I think they may get that player. If there is a linebacker out there that is absolutely insane, they think they can really help them out, I think they'll go out there and get that too. But it wouldn't surprise me if they went out and got another cornerback, depending upon who would be available out there. But again, let's run through this schedule because I want to show you some flashpoint moments. Man, let me tell you something, Tatiana. Stephon Diggs, I'm not a Stephon Diggs fan, but Stephon Diggs is a talented guy. As much as he liked to run women, one thing I can tell you about Stephon Diggs, he's serious about his craft for the most part. He's a very talented wide receiver. He's going to play different too. I mean, he already played good with stuff hanging over his head. Oh, he'll play even better this year. Diggs is going to make somebody a really good wide receiver. I'm not ruling out him going to a team like the Eagles or the Commanders. I'm not ruling out Diggs going somewhere. Diggs can still play. All right. First game of the season. Flashpoint moment for the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, because everybody is going to be looking to see how the Cowboys look out of the gate. Number 2, Washington Commanders. Man, Cowboys winning this. Let me tell you something about Dan Quinn. A lot of people may not realize this about Dan Quinn. There's a reason why the Atlanta Falcons fired Dan Quinn. There is a reason why the Atlanta Falcons fired Dan Quinn. This man is responsible for one of the greatest Super Bowl collapses ever and one of the greatest comebacks ever by one Tom Brady. Dan Quinn, he can build cultures really well. I give him a lot of credit for that. But when it comes to the consistency of just winning, I'm just not. I mean, even when Dan was with Dallas, I mean, Dan's defense was really a smoke. It was really smoke and mirrors. It was built to play with a lead. But the moment you got behind with a Dan Quinn defense in Dallas, and I'm going to blame some of this on Jerry. I'm going to be fair to Dan. Jerry wouldn't give Dan the players that he was asking for. And so Dan would just make do with what he had. But looking at Dan Quinn and some of the things he did with the Commanders last year, I'm not worried about Dan Quinn. I'm telling you now, Jaden Daniels won't last 7 years with Dan Quinn as his coach. Dan Quinn, I'm telling you, Jaden Daniels isn't going to last 7 seasons with Dan Quinn as his coach. That young man is going to stay injured with Dan Quinn being his coach. I believe the Dallas Cowboys, I've already said before, I believe the Dallas Cowboys, they are going to beat the Washington Commanders. Now, again, This game with the Baltimore Ravens, I just don't know where I am with this. And the reason why I don't know where I am with it is because it's on a neutral field. It's on a neutral field. To be honest with you, though, if we're just kind of thinking about where we are with the Baltimore Ravens, just looking at that again. Brand new head coach. Dare I say, brand new head coach. Lamar Jackson is and let me tell you something about Lamar Jackson. This is a make or break season for Lamar Jackson, in case y'all didn't know. Yeah, this is a make or break season. Okay, Lamar Jackson, we chose you over John Harbaugh. Prove to us why we chose you over John Harbaugh. Yeah, he's at the voluntaries this year. First time. First time Lamar Jackson is at the voluntaries. There's a lot of question marks about him. I'll tell you this, there's a little bit of a question mark about Derrick Henry too. Derrick Henry, I mean, he looked good at spurts last year, but there was some times that Derrick Henry didn't look that good. Is Derrick Henry about to fall off a cliff? Now, Derrick Henry is an alien. We all know this. But man, running backs, I don't care who you are, eventually you wear down. I'm still kind of got a question mark about this game. But the Cowboys, brand new coach. Cowboys could actually pull this one off. If they're hitting on all cylinders, Cowboys can pull that one off. I believe they can pull that one off. Mills said Derrick's a year older, too, on top of that, G. Yeah, Baltimore might miss the playoffs. I'm telling you, they've been struggling. They've been struggling. Michael Post, hey, I'm going to tell you, Michael P., you're right. Lamar mental is fractured. Man, I'm telling you, the Cowboys may be able to get this one. Melo Thag, he said, Ravens will take about 2 to 3 years to be back at the top. Hey, Mel, let me tell you something that's crazy. We could literally be watching Lamar Jackson's last year in Baltimore. A lot of people were saying that Lamar Jackson should be getting an extension. And people have been wondering why he's not getting an extension. Because they're like, we don't want to give him an extension. The Baltimore Ravens, I believe, are ready to rebuild their whole franchise. And that may actually mean Lamar Jackson getting traded to somebody. I mean, we could literally be watching this. So the Cowboys may be able to get this one. We're going to see, this is just first reaction. We're just having fun. But the Cowboys, man, could get this one if this defense is average. Houston Texans, let me tell you something. You might not believe this when I tell you this. Houston Texans is another flashpoint game for the Cowboys. This is a flashpoint moment. And the reason why this is a flashpoint moment, let me show you something about these first 3 games. This is a flashpoint moment. The Giants game, I think it's going to be more about the offense. I really do. Dominique, understand what I'm saying. I want to see the Christian Parker effect. I want to see how he's affected the defense. Doesn't mean he has to come out and be number 1 defense after game number 1. But what I am saying is it's the flashpoint moment. We got to see some of the Christian Parker effect. I don't care if it's the lineups. I don't care if it's the base defense. I don't care if it's, quarterback pressures. Just people lining up in the right spot, not letting people get behind them as it applies to wide receivers. I want to see some of that stuff. But in the first game, it's going to be more about the offense. In the second game against the Washington Commanders, it will be more about the offense. I do believe it will be more about the offense. Against the Baltimore Ravens, I think it's going to be more about the offense again and the defense coming on. But I'm going to tell you, in the Baltimore game is going to be a true test of the defense because Lamar Jackson is going to get out there and be running. But this game right here, this is the true test. The first game, this Houston Texans game, the fourth game against the Houston Texans, this is a flashpoint moment. And the reason why it's a flashpoint moment, the Houston Texans are a playoff team. Unequivocally, I don't care how bad C.J. Stroud plays. They are a playoff team. They are disciplined. They are well coached. This will be the first playoff game for the Cowboys. This will be it. This is a playoff team. Of the first three teams, maybe. We'll see by the end of the season, maybe. But the Texans, that's a playoff team. Bottom line, that's a playoff team. I don't care if we're in May. The Houston Texans, barring some cataclysmic injuries, the Houston Texans is a playoff team. The defense says that is too good. The defense is too good for the Houston Texans. And I believe it's going to be as good as it's been. The issue is, can C.J. Stroud be better? Because he's been awful. This man has been awful. This is a flashpoint moment. The Houston Texans. It's a playoff team. I'm telling you. That's a playoff team. That's the second flashpoint moment of the season. That is a playoff team. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just amazing to me that this is also a primetime game. Another flashpoint moment. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have been on the edge of being really, really good. For what? The last 2 years? It's going to be a make or break season for their coach. Because if he don't have a winning season this year, he fired. He's fired. Quarterback, he's looking for a humongous, he's trying to prove that he's that guy, that he deserves that big contract. This is going to be a big-time game for the Cowboys also against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Book it and believe it. Green Bay game, it will forever be big as long as Micah Parsons is there. The Green Bay game is always going to be big. It's always going to be big. Micah Parsons is there. Jordan Love. Some people want to put him above Dak Prescott. This game is always going to be big. Man, let me tell you something. Do not sleep on these first 6 games. They're going to tell us a lot about the Dallas Cowboys. The first 6 games are going to tell us a lot about the Dallas Cowboys. It is. It's going to tell us a lot about the Dallas Cowboys. And hopefully with Christian Parker, man, we got to, let me tell you something. We got to really, that defense, I'm not worried about C.J. Stroud, but that defense better be ready right around here. That defense has got to, it's got to jump leaps and bounds. We cannot be what we were with Matt Eberflus. We can't. Not by game 5. You can't be that by game 5. You can't. These are flashpoint moments. These first 6 games are going to really tell us about the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to really tell us. And where it really begins is right here, Houston Texans. That is a playoff team. I'm telling you, they are well coached, and this isn't preliminary. I'm telling you, book it. This is a playoff team. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, losing Mike Evans. Man, losing Mike Evans. Now, I know I forgot the guy they got last year from the draft. But, boy, losing Mike Evans. Woo! Boy, it's tough on him, too. It's going to be tough on Baker Mayfield losing him. But their coach, let me tell you something. He's on the hottest of hot seats. It's going to be a great game. These first 6 games, and I'm telling you, every time the Cowboys play the Green Bay Packers, it's always going to be must-watch TV because of what the Packers gave up and what the Cowboys received. What the Cowboys gave up and what the Packers received. It's always going to be must-watch TV. But I'm telling you right now, mark my words, Cowboys fans. If the Dallas Cowboys come out of the first 6 games 4-2, oh man, you better, we come out of the first 6 games 4-2. 4-2? And then that next 6 games? Oh, man. Man, these next kids, let me tell you something. You're going to be battling the schedule. You will be battling the schedule the first 6 games because of time. You will be battling the schedule. When you get to the Houston Texans, that will be your first wave of 3 tough games because you're going to play the Texans, the Buccaneers, and the Packers. Those will be your first 3 tough games. You make it out of that 4-2, and then you get Philly on a Monday night. You get Philly. You get the Cardinals. You get the Colts, the 49ers, the Titans, the Eagles. Nah, man. Come on, man. You got to go. In that stretch from Philly to Philly, man, you got to go 5-1 at the least. You got to go 5-0, 6-0 at the most. You pull off that after going 4-2 the first 6 and then go 5-1 the next 6. Oh, you in like Flynn. You will have already matched the same number of wins. Well, you would have eclipsed the number of wins that you had the previous season. Man. This is going to be the most winnable part of the Dallas Cowboys season. That second, third. Eagles, you should be able to beat the Eagles. Let me tell you something. Everybody's wondering about Saquon Barkley. The Eagles messed around and gave Saquon Barkley, if I'm not mistaken, they gave Saquon Barkley an extension. Saquon Barkley didn't look the same. Now, the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the NFC. And actually in the NFL. But nevertheless, the Cowboys should still be able to beat them. But let's just say, because that's the one team I have the Cowboys splitting with. Man, your next 5 games. That second, third, come on, man. You got to beat Arizona, man. Come on, man. Arizona is basically rebuilding. Brand new head coach. Come on, man. You can't let a first-year head coach with Jacoby Brissett beat you. You gotta win this one. Beat Arizona. You should be able to beat the Colts. 49ers will be a tough game. Kyle Shanahan, he's always tough. But you're in Dallas. I'm just giving the Cowboys the benefit of the doubt of being at home. Cowboys, you got to beat the 49ers. Come on, man. You don't beat the Titans at home, it's going to be a serious problem. It's going to be a serious problem you don't beat the Titans. And then you got Philly. Come on, man. That second 6 games for the Cowboys, come on, man. If you don't win 5 of those 6, something wrong. If you can go 4-2 the first 6, 5-1 the second 6, man, you in. That's 9 games. That's 9 games. And then when you look at the last 5, can you pull out 3? Can you pull out 3? I'm going to tell you now, if the Cowboys beat the Seahawks and the Rams back-to-back, this league is going to go crazy. This league will go crazy if the Cowboys beat the Rams and the Eagles back-to-back. I think that's going to be a tall glass, even though there is a bye week in there. That's going to be a tall glass. Tall glass. Again, I still say you can beat the Jags. I say you can beat the Giants and then the Commanders. Man, you look at this Dallas Cowboys schedule, man. This is, I think they're actually battling the scheduling more than the opponents. I think they can win, man. I really do. I mean, just preliminarily looking at the opponents. When I look at the opponents, there are only, let's look at what I got handwritten about this schedule. Let's kind of put it up on the screen again. When I look at these opponents, I don't see but about 4 to 5 teams on the Cowboys schedule that really make me pause. Let me give you the 5 teams. and it might be 6. The Houston Texans. The Houston Texans, man, that is just a very good. They are one of the best coach teams in the league. They are one of the best coach teams in the league. And so when I look at this schedule, there are really only 4 teams that I go, that's tough. Houston Texans, 49ers. I'm going to give the Seahawks the benefit of the doubt. They're the Super Bowl champions. And then we got the Rams. I mean, Cowboy fans, let's be honest. Who on this schedule really makes us scared? Who? Who on this schedule? And I understand what we're saying. Let me read my man CGW. I like what he's saying here. I have no problems with it. Let's read what CGW is saying. CGW says right now we are not a 12-win team. Wait until the 53-man roster. Now, CGW, now we just having fun. Now, come on. We understand CGW. We having fun. But, CGW, let's look at this not just subjectively. Let's look at this objectively. Objectively, let's think about the Cowboys. Cowboys offense, top 3 offense last season. Defense, dead last. Christian Parker, I believe, but I got to see it on the field. I'm just going on a limb. I think Christian Parker is a better coach than Matt Eberflus, but we got to see it. I believe that Christian Parker has a better coaching staff than Matt Eberflus had. I believe that Christian Parker has a better defense than Matt Eberflus had. Christian Parker's personnel is leaps and bounds better than what Matt Eberflus had. Some of that was Matt Eberflus's fault. And some of that was the Cowboys just really needed an overhaul with players. They just needed an overhaul, period. Period. They needed an overhaul. They've gotten the overhaul on the defense. And I don't think they're done. I think they're going to continue to tweak the defense. We'll see what happens with the final 53-man roster. But let's kind of go down the line here. Again, I'm just not worried about the Giants and the Commanders. I'm not confident in Dan Quinn. For as much as we got a brand new defense coordinator, the Ravens got a brand new head coach. Ravens got a whole lot of question marks over there. Houston Texans, well coached. That's why I got a star by their name. The Bucks, the Bucks don't really scare me, especially in Dallas. I believe their head coach, this is it. He don't win this year, he fired. Probably should have fired him a couple of years ago. Hey, but again, this is kind of where they are. Green Bay, man, Green Bay has lost a lot of defensive firepower. A lot of defensive firepower. Got a brand new defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. So the Green Bay Packers are going through some changes too. I believe that Micah Parsons I don't even think he realizes it. He's right back in the situation he was with Dallas. He's now going to be on the defense where they're going to depend on him for everything. They took the defensive tackles. They took the edge rushers. He was already suffering. They were already kind of suffering in the defensive backfield. He's in the same situation again. Same exact situation. It might even be worse. He got his money, but he might be in a worse situation. So when I look at Green Bay and I look at these teams that are on this Cowboys schedule that I'm putting check marks by, I'm going to put question marks. They got things they got to figure out too. You think about this. Giants, brand new head coach. Malik Neighbors might not be there. Scatty Bowl might not be there. We don't even know if their offensive line is going to be good. Question marks. Dan Quinn. Can Jaden Daniels stay healthy? All the new players they had a pretty good draft, pretty good free agency. But you think about it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Texans, well coached. Bucks. Lost Mike Evans, probably not in as bad a situation as these other 4 teams. That's objectively. The Cowboys, if there is one thing the Cowboys have better than all 6 of the teams in the first 6 games of the season, the one thing the Cowboys have better than all of them, dare I say, quarterback, offensive production. That's objectively. And the reason why it is objective is because the Dallas Cowboys offense was better than all of those teams' offense last year. Dak Prescott was better than all those quarterbacks last year. We didn't change anything on offense. What we're looking at is the defense. Our offense is better even than the Texans. Our offense, our quarterback is better than all of those teams. What we're wondering is, what is our defense? But those teams got questions too, other than the Texans. You look at the second wave of teams. Philly, I don't know, there's a lot of question marks about Jalen Hurts right now. I think they're going to get another offensive coordinator. Is that what they're doing? A lot of question marks about Philly. A lot of question marks about, okay, what is Saquon Barkley going to be? So we got some question marks about them. Cardinals, I'm sorry, the Cowboys need to beat the Cardinals. It would be embarrassing to lose to the Cardinals again. Colts, we don't know what the heck they are. We don't know if the quarterback is going to be not back or not, and we don't know if he's going to be good. 49ers, got a lot of things going on. They lost not one wide receiver, but 2. We'll see what happens with Brandon Ayuk. They've lost some players too. We're going to see what the 49ers are. They got Oso Digizua, so we're definitely going to see what they are. Tennessee Titans, they're still Robert Saleh. They're still building. So you think about these teams that we're playing in the first 12 games. They got a lot of question marks too. We're not playing teams whether we realize it or not. When you look at the second wave of the 6 teams, there's question marks about them too. The only really well-coached team we're playing in the first 12 games is the Houston Texans. That's it. That's objectively. The only teams that have it together, it's the Bucs. All these other teams that we're playing, just like we're saying preliminary, just like we're saying got to see what the players are, guess what? They got to see what their coaches are too. And so the issue is in the first 12 games, it's a matter of, okay, well, which team's coaching staff gets it together first when they play each other? Which team? Which team? Who will be further along? Ravens or the Cowboys when they see each other? Who will be further along? Now, Texans, well coached. Bucks, Mike Evans is the only big thing I can remember. Green Bay, will Michael Parsons be back? And if he does, will that be the first game back? A lot of question marks there. Philly, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown won't be there. What will he look like without A.J. Brown? What will Saquon Barkley look like? Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. I expect Jeremiah Love, by the time the Cowboys see him, they'll probably be giving him about 25, 30 carries a game by the time we see him. So we'll see what that looks like. But the Cardinals, new head coach. We're going to see what he implements. Colts, again, a lot of questions behind the quarterback. 49ers, what will they look like? But one thing I say about Shanahan has always been able to pull it together with, even when he's missing stuff. Titans, Robert Saleh still building. I mean, I'm just saying, the first 12 games of the season, they all got issues. Man, they all got issues except for the Houston Texans. They all got issues. They got questions to answer just like the Dallas Cowboys. So it's not like we're about to play in the first 12 games of the season. It's not like we're about to play a bunch of teams that's got it together and we are trying to figure it out on defense. They're trying to figure it out too. They're trying to figure it out too, man. I mean, I'm telling you something. This could be a season. This could be the perfect storm for the Cowboys. This could be the perfect storm. Those teams got question marks, man. We could be this could be the perfect storm. Tatiana, I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm excited for the season, but I'll wait and see. Tatiana, I'm going to do both of them at the same time. I'm going to get my hopes up, and I'm going to wait and see. I got my hopes up, and I'm going to wait and see. Because, Tatiana, at the end of the day, you can be excited because you still have to wait and see because you ain't got no choice because none of us can go into the future. So you can get your hopes up. You can get your hopes up. I'm so excited about this Cowboys season because we're not playing a bunch of teams that's got it together. I'm giving advantage Brian Schottenheimer, man. This is Brian Schottenheimer's second year. Brian Schottenheimer ought to have this team a lot more cohesive this year. He ought to have this team a lot more cohesive this year. So let me answer another question on CGW. Because, see, you're talking more about the third of the season. And it's always too early, CGW. We're just having fun. But talking objectively, even this early in the season, if the Cowboys will take care of business the first 12 games of the season, there is no reason why the Cowboys can't win 8 to 9 of the first 12. Unless they're, I mean, man, let me tell you something. This defense would have to literally be worse than Matt Eberflus to not win 8 or 9. I'm not buying that this defense is going to be anything close to Matt Eberflus. I'm just not buying it. I'm not saying they're going to be a top 10 defense, but I am not buying that this defense is not going to be better under Christian Parker. Why? He's got better coaches, including BT Jordan. I'm telling you, he is the secret weapon. This team is going to be much better at rushing the passer by having BT Jordan year round. This team has no choice but to be better. Why? They have better players. And 70s fans said it earlier. And I don't know if he was being sarcastic or not. You got Caleb Downs. He should help you fix a lot of your back end problems. They're already saying this guy has the defense down. The entire defense. They're saying this dude already has everything down. So, again, let me give you the last 5 games of the season. And this is why these teams, they have stars by them. And I will even go as far as the Jaguars. I will give them a red dash. Seattle Seahawks, defending Super Bowl champions, well coached. I'm so glad we're going to have Seattle so late in the season because that's a good team. It's a good team. It really is. The Rams, I'm sorry, it's Sean McVay. What else do I need to say? They're just well doggone coached. Jacksonville Jaguars, I got to see him do it again. But I'm going to put a dash by them. The Jaguars, they could be a problem. Thankfully, we got them in Dallas, but they could be a problem for the Cowboys. And so then you get to the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders. I really do think the Cowboys are going to go 5-1 in the division. 6-0 wouldn't shock me, but I'm going to give it 5-1 because I believe Philly will be the team that we will split with. And if we sweep Philly, the Commanders will be the team that we split with. So if the Cowboys, think about this, Cowboys Nation. If the Cowboys just go 5-1 in their division, we do know what that means, right? You got 5 wins. You can't tell me second year Brian Schottenheimer, second year George Pickens, second year Javonte. You talk about Quentin. I mean, Christian Parker got to hit the ground running. Come on, man. You got to be better than what you were defensively last year. It's not just the coaches. You just got better players. Renan said he doesn't expect anything less than a mid-pack defense. Henry Williams, you know what the crazy thing is when you think about these schedules? How did Philly in the division get the easier schedules? How did Philly get the easier schedule out of the Cowboys and the doggone Washington Commanders? Okay, Cowboys got a second place schedule. So you had to give us Seattle on the road. You had to give us the Rams on the road. I mean, you really had to do that. But again, if you just look at what I've done on this schedule, I'm gonna be honest with you. For as hard as people were saying this schedule was going to be, and now that I kind of look at this schedule, and I'm not just looking at the schedule, I'm looking at the context of all these teams. Let's stop pretending that we're the only ones that's got a new coach, new coaches, whole bunch of new players, new schemes. We're not the only ones. All of these teams are going to be dealing with that now. I give us just as good a shot as anybody. And I'm talking objectively. I'm not talking about subjectively. Objectively. Come on, man. So what are we saying? John Harbaugh going to come into the division first season? First season in the division, and John Harbaugh, he just going to hit the ground running. What are he going to do? Double-digit wins? Y'all remember what we were saying about Jim Harbaugh? Remember what everybody was saying about Jim Harbaugh? Yeah, man, Jim Harbaugh, boy, he going to the Chargers. Yeah, he went to the Chargers, didn't he? What have we seen with, quote unquote, the best quarterback who's not the best quarterback in the NFL, Justin Herbert? Oh, John Harbaugh gonna change him. Yep. Yeah, Justin Herbert is a coach killer. Justin Herbert is a coach killer. He on his third coach. Man, on his third coach, if I'm not mistaken. He is a coach killer. Man, we thought Harbaugh was going to go to the Chargers, tear it up. Come on, man. Come on. So now we thinking that Harbaugh going to tear it? No, question marks. Commanders, I have no confidence in Dan Quinn. Not as a head coach. I have no confidence in Dan Quinn. He took over play calling last year. I don't know if he's going to call plays this year. You telling me Dan Quinn going to call the offense? I'm going to tell you again. Don't get ready. You might see a second year of the Commanders not even making the playoffs. Baltimore Ravens, y'all don't realize it, but I've been listening and watching some things. Baltimore Ravens is a mess. The Baltimore Ravens are a pure mess right now. In the first 6 games, the Texans are truly the best team we're going to see. They're the best coached. They're the most disciplined, but even they got a quarterback that's shaky. But because of their defense, and because we'll be on the road, I'll give the Texans the benefit of the doubt. That's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough out. Bucks, once again, lost Mike Evans, but I'll still give them the benefit of the doubt. Probably don't got as many questions to answer. And then Green Bay got a whole lot of them to answer. Again, Cardinals, come on, Dallas. Jalen Hurts seems to be on the decline. Colts, we don't know what the quarterback going to be coming off an Achilles. 49ers, got some issues at wide receiver. We're going to see how it turn out. Titans, come on, man. I ain't buying the Titans. You talk about those second 6 games. Those teams have as many issues and questions to answer as the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to see if the Cowboys answer theirs. And then again, like I said, that final 5 games, now that's going to be a tough stretch, those 3 games. The Rams, the Seahawks, and the Jags. Oof, that's tough. You got to play your butt off in those 3 games because you're going to see 1, if not 2. If you make the playoffs, book it. If the Cowboys make the playoffs, they're going to see at least one of these teams and could possibly see 2. I don't think they'll see the Rams and the Seahawks if they make it to the playoffs. I think they'll see either the Seahawks and the Jags or the Rams and the Jags. I think they'll see that combination if they make the playoffs. But after looking at this schedule, it's looking a little bit better to me now. It's looking a little bit better to me now, especially when you consider some of the issues that those teams are having. It's looking a little bit better to me now. 70s fan, hey, let me tell you something. Trevor Lawrence is the first season he's actually looked like what they said he was going to be years ago. Once you know, he said the Jags are crafty and unpredictable. Yep. Think we can beat them, though. Will Word said, no way we beating the Seahawks. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They are a well-coached team. Well-coached team. Without knowing everything that we need to see, they are a well-coached team. And that's why I say, again, when you look at these teams, man, these are the games that you probably need to be considering. Texans, well coached. 49ers, well coached. Seattle Seahawks, well coached. Rams, well coached. Jaguars, well coached. All the other teams, they got question marks, brothers and sisters. Hell, they got question marks. They got question marks, Cowboys fans. Y'all stop thinking we the only one got questions to answer. They got questions to answer too. But I can tell you another advantage we have over all of them. You go back. I'm just being objective on this situation right here. Let me tell you something else. I believe we have an advantage on these teams. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't go all the way down the line. Let's go all the way down the line. Let's put some green check marks by these right here. Who you taking? Dak Prescott, Jackson Dart. I'm taking Dak Prescott. Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott. I'm taking Dak Prescott. Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott. I'm taking Dak Prescott. CJ Stroud, Dak Prescott. I'm taking Dak Prescott. Bucks quarterback. Name slips my mind again. I'm taking Dak Prescott over him. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Jordan Love. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Jacoby Brissett. I'm taking Dak Prescott over the Colts, whether it be Richardson or the other guy. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Purdy. But he got Kyle Shanahan with him. That right there, that's the great equalizer. I'm taking Dak Prescott over Ward. I'm going to put an X by Purdy because he got, hey man, Stu's got a great coach with him. Again, I'm taking Dak Prescott over Sam Darnold. But the reason why I'll put an X through it is because they're well coached. They're well coached offensively and defensively. Dak Prescott over Matthew Stafford. Oof. I would, but I know some other people would not. But I also will put an X on here because well coached. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. If you tell me I got to take Dak and Shotty versus Stafford and McVay, until Shotty showed me more, I'm probably I would take Stafford and McVay just because of the play calling. But I'll take Dak straight up as a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott. I mean, just think about this. Dak Prescott is the equal. Man, Dak Prescott is better than these quarterbacks. He's better than these quarterbacks. Our offenses are better than at least 13 of the teams that we're going to play. Our offense is better than 13 of these teams. The big question mark is going to be the defense. That's going to be the question mark. Because our offense is better than these teams. Our offense, other than the Rams, I mean, our offense is even better than the Seahawks. They're better than the Seahawks, man. All right. Baz says, I don't know about all that. Seems like a stretch, but to each his own. I think Mulugeta and Jerry had talking about George Pickens, yeah. Jaden Justin, this is the very reason why I do not want the Cowboys scrimmaging with the Chargers this year. I want the Cowboys scrimmaging with the Rams. I hope they scrimmage the Rams. I really do. They need to scrimmage the Rams again. I really think that is that's the litmus test for us. The Rams at Oxnard, California. Bass said, I think in the upcoming season, if Downs truly shows up on the field, he knows the playbook. Maybe they do give a rookie the green dot, but I think it's a vet and a linebacker that's so leave Thompson the winners. I think it's going to be D winners. I think the green dot is going to be D winners. I really do. I think it's going to be D winners. Brandon Cupp, Dak Prescott on that schedule is better than all those quarterbacks. The offense is better than all of them. CGW said, when it's all said and done, this is intriguing to me. We knew Seattle was a road game last season. We're going to see. But when you look at the teams that we're playing, there are only 3 of these teams, if you're just being honest, they all got issues. They all got issues. The teams with the Red Stars, they're well coached. The rest of these teams, they either got a new head coach, new offense coordinator, or a new defense coordinator. They got to answer some of the same questions. They got personnel issues too. They've lost people. They've lost people. They picked up people. They got to get things gelling too. I'm just telling us, man. I don't think this schedule is as hard as they said it was. Now looking at it again, I don't think this schedule is as hard as I think it was. We just go out here and ball, man. We should be able to beat these teams. Brandon Cupp said easy, hard schedule is based on last season. Ask anyone how hard it is to repeat a great season. It is. I think the Cowboys are on to something here. Yeah, Shotty's got to be creative this year. No vanilla offense. Won't work this year because of the opponents. Now, he got to go in his bag this year. And I will say, if you look at Brian Schottenheimer's time in Seattle, he got better that second season. So we're going to see if he can get better this coming season. Christian Legal said the Eagles have an easy schedule, means it's harder than that because hungry teams will want to beat them. Christian Legal, I'm going to tell you another reason why even if the Eagles have an easy schedule. Jalen Hurts. Teams are on to Jalen Hurts. Teams are figuring out that Jalen Hurts does not want to throw tight window passes. They have figured him out. They play that too high safety on Jalen Hurts, and he won't do a thing. Jalen Hurts had so many games last year. I mean, this dude was throwing for less than 200 yards. No. There are some issues going on with Jalen Hurts for sure. There are some issues, and teams have figured him out. And that's why, Christian Legal, even if they have an easy schedule, it won't be easy. Jalen Hurts will not have an easy schedule. He will not have an easy schedule. Yep. Jason, Seattle's lost a lot of people in free agency. They did. And you know what, Jason? Let me tell you something. And I don't think they care. Some of these teams, man, they get a Super Bowl, they just don't even care no more. Got a Super Bowl. Big deal. So what if we don't win it the second year? I mean, you win a Super Bowl, man, you still going to get a 2 extra years, no matter if you suck or not. Poopa D said Jags only in Super Bowl. Oh, AFC team. My bad. I forgot their AFC. You're right. So we won't see them again next year. I don't think we'll see them next year. Yeah, I forgot 70s Fan Show. Forgot they was an AFC team. Yeah, Legal, I think the Seahawks might have caught a genie in a bottle that one year. You know, Mile High City, let me tell you something. I'm not going to rule out Von Miller. Now, where the Cowboys are right now, y'all kind of tell me what y'all think. If I was just looking for a player to just rush the passer, I might actually consider Von Miller over Jadeveon Clowney. If I was looking for someone to play linebacker, now that's the difference. If I was looking for somebody to play linebacker, I would probably get Jadeveon Clowney. I think Jadeveon Clowney could be a better linebacker. While at the same time, if you tell me that if you're only going to bring in Von Miller for passing downs, Von Miller could be a better pass rusher. I really do. Yeah, Danny Dimes. That's who I keep thinking about. Daniel Jones. Yeah. Daniel Jones. Yeah, Danny Dimes, as you called him. Yeah, Daniel Jones. And Tatiana, the good thing is, even if Shotty isn't dynamic, Dak will be. So I'm not worried about it. Dak will be. All we need to do is get this offense together. Get the defense together. Dak gonna handle his business. Dak is in that cerebral mode now. You can't throw a lot of Dak Prescott he hasn't seen. He's in that mode now. Yeah, he's in that mode. He's keeping his body. He's doing something that Tony Romo didn't do. He's keeping his body in just tip-top shape. tip-top shape. Mile High City said divorced Dak. Well, he wasn't married, but yeah, single Dak. Man, let me tell you something about High City. You know what, man? Dak, man, let me tell you something, bro. Man, Dak is my man. But let me tell you something about Dak Prescott, bro. Man, I'm sorry, bro, but Dak Prescott, man. I think Dak Prescott may have been trying to do the right thing. Man, let me tell you something. Ain't no woman gonna phase Dak Prescott, bro. Dak Prescott out here playing, I believe, bro. Boy, I believe Dak Prescott out here playing, bro. Dak don't let no women affect him in the grand scheme of things, man. Dak don't let no women phase him. So that part of Dak Prescott right there, shoot, man. We ain't even gotta sweat it. Yeah, man, Dak is on his villain art. And that's off the field and on the field. That's why that boy Dak, boy. Shoot, Dak play well on the field and off the field from everything I was hearing, bro. So I ain't even worried about Dak's personal life. This man gonna be on point. Dak gonna be on point, man. Yes, sir, 70s Fan Show talking about Jalen Hurts, man. They figured Jalen Hurts out. See, Dak Prescott, you can't figure out Dak Prescott. You just got to get to Dak Prescott. Bottom line, you just got to get to Dak Prescott. Because Dak Prescott says you run cover two. Dak Prescott said, I don't care if you got two men on a receiver. I'm going to throw the ball in the place where only he'll get it. See, Dak is on that level now. Man, people do not realize how great of a passer Dak Prescott is now. And Dak Prescott had to work hard to be what he is now. Man, Dak on a different level, bro. People don't even realize what this dude is right now. JCT Slice says Shady Nacho just can't stop hating on Dak. Yeah. Well, of course they can't, Especially Shady. He Philly by nature. He ain't no Buffalo Bill. He ain't no Kansas City Chief. He Philly by nature. Bass said Von Miller's a demon in pass rush. But for rush defense, give me Jadeveon Clowney. See, and I think that's really what they would only want Von Miller for, is to rush the passer. See, I don't think they need Jadeveon Clowney to play linebacker. So if you're just talking about pure pass rushing, man, Von Miller, if I'm not mistaken, last year, what was he, like 9 sacks on limited snaps? Man, Von Miller can still get to the quarterback. Yeah, he can still get to the quarterback. So, hey, Baz, hey, Dak's still living fast, man. Dak is still living fast. And the thing I like about Dak Prescott, he can compartmentalize. He don't let his personal life affect what he. If anything, he uses the stuff in his personal life to just fuel the fire even more of trying to be successful. Yeah, Dak's on a different level right now. Yeah, Dak on a different level right now. He ain't worried about no women, man. Yeah, Dak ain't worried about no women. Frank Lawrence says Shotty has a good bedside manner influence. Jerry to straighten out his defensive coaching staff and player personnel. Yeah, he's been very well, but Frank Lawrence, I've been hearing Jerry Jones, and he's been saying this. He wants to see Brian Schottenheimer take the next step too. They left a lot of stuff out there on the field for as much as they scored last year. They left a lot out there on the field. They really did. L.A. Dodd, he said Dak intelligence is crazy, man. People don't understand what this dude is right now. Man, this dude is in Neo from the Matrix mode, man. This dude is seeing the game different, bro. It's done slowed down for Dak Prescott, like it does for a lot. See, a lot of people don't realize something. Tom Brady can still play this game. I promise y'all, Tom Brady can still play this game. Tom Brady got to a point the game was so slow for Tom Brady, he saw everything in slow motion. If you put Tom Brady on a team to where he didn't have to worry about his backside as far as his blind side, if he didn't have to worry about running all over the field if the offensive line wasn't good, man, if you put Tom Brady right now in the ideal situation, I believe Tom Brady could still win. I believe he could still play and still win. Why? The game is so slow for Tom Brady. This dude plays, the game is in slow motion when Tom Brady's on the field. It's in slow motion. It's the same thing for Dak Prescott. Game is in slow motion now. The game is in slow motion. There's no fast motion for Dak Prescott anymore. Everything Dak sees offensively from the defense, it's all in slow motion. This is why last year when they played the Green Bay Packers, man, Dak Prescott had saw everything. A lot of people don't realize, why was Dak Prescott able to get away from Micah Parsons in that Green Bay game? Go back and look at the tape. Micah Parsons was doing everything he could do to get to Dak Prescott. And don't think that Micah Parsons was playing bad. They were double teaming him. They were chipping him. And then when he would get away from him, Dak Prescott, step up, step back, slide to the side, run away from him. Dak Prescott saw Micah Parsons when Micah Parsons didn't think Dak Prescott saw him. This dude, man, the game is in slow motion for Dak Prescott. And the more years he plays, and as long as he keeps his body together, everything is in slow motion for Dak Prescott. Miss Major said, gee, I thought he was washed. That's why the Cowboys beat him, right? Well, they say he was washed. Miss Major, they say Tom Brady was washed. The team he was playing on wasn't that good. That's why I say, if you put Tom Brady on the right team, now, you can't put him on no team that needs a lot of players. Because no matter how slow the game is, if they can get after that, if they can chase Tom Brady all over the field, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Tom Brady ain't getting away from nobody. Tom Brady ain't getting away from nobody. But if you put Tom Brady in the right situation, tear you to pieces. Tom Brady will tear a team to pieces if they put him in the right situation. All right, so let's go back for a moment. Let's go back to a couple of our subject matters before we get out of here today. We'll run back over that schedule one more time, before we get out of here. But you know what? I'm cool. I mean, man, I don't know about y'all, man. Now that I see the schedule and how the schedule is arranged, I'm feeling pretty good about the schedule. Especially when I look at the context of the teams the Cowboys are playing now that we have pulled back another layer, as I've shown y'all, about how all of these teams the Cowboys are playing, they all got new coaches, whether it be head coach, defensive coordinator, they all got new players. They all got a lot of things to figure out. But where I'm glad that the Cowboys are further ahead than a lot of these teams is offensively. And so if Christian Parker can get it together sooner than later, we don't need Christian Parker to be the number one defense out the box. We just need to see the Christian Parker effect out of the box. We need to see, okay, the alignments are right. They're lining up in the right place. They're in the right positions to make plays. Gap integrity by the linebackers. The defensive tackles are smashing that line of scrimmage. Rashawn Gary is getting after the quarterback like we think he could do. Can we see Donovan Ezeraku make another step this year? So we just need to see some of those things come to fruition. This is why I'm glad we got Kobe Durant, because we cannot depend on Savon Revel Jr. to immediately step into that cornerback position. And, of course, Deron Bland, we're hoping he can get healthy. But don't forget, we got Darian Kendrick. We got players that if those two players aren't playing well, I think we will be okay. But I don't think we're through tweaking the roster. CGW, what we'll do, I want to go back and look at these Super Bowl schedules compared to this schedule. And then I'll come to the roster. Because one of the things that I want to show you real quick as we look at this Cowboys schedule. Let's go back and look at this part one more time before I go to the Super Bowl years. So, looking at the Cowboys schedule, let me use another color. So, let's go down the line before we go to the Cowboys Super Bowl schedules. The years they won the Super Bowl. And let's look at, first, the teams on the current schedule that we believe are going to have a winning record. Let's go down the line. I'm going to give the Commanders the benefit of the doubt. I believe the Washington Commanders can ink out a 9-8 season. I believe they can ink it out. The Ravens, they might be a 9-win team. The Texans, there's no doubt. I don't care how bad CJ Stroud played, they're going to win. Bucks could possibly be a 9-win team. Green Bay could possibly be a 9-win team. Philly, probably a 9-win team or more. Colts, 49ers, probably going to be more than a 9-win team. So when you look at the amount of teams the Cowboys are going to play with a winning record, that is 7. Oh, hold on. I forgot about these. Seattle, winning record. Rams, winning record. Probably the Jags. So when you look at that, that is 4, 5. So that is 10 teams. So the Cowboys will play 10 teams. 10 teams with a winning record. This is going to be a great test for the Cowboys. But I also think the Cowboys can beat these teams because I think they're going to be a team that's going to have a winning record this year for a change. I believe they will be a winning team and they will have no less than 10 wins. Book it. At least 10. I see 10. I see 3 more than last year minimum. But if they can do what I think they can do, will not surprise me if the Cowboys are 12 wins. And maximum, if they're hitting on all cylinders, probably looking at 13. But what I want to show you real fast is I did some more research today. And it's funny when you look at the 1992 season for the Cowboys. The 1992 season was probably one of the hardest schedules. Was probably the easiest of the Cowboys' schedules. Let me see. We were looking at this. All right, hold on a second. I want to see if I can find this crazy schedule thing I was looking at the other day. If I can, I ain't gonna worry about it. But we were talking about the Cowboys' strength of schedule. That's what we were talking about. And so when you look at the Cowboys' strength of schedule versus those Super Bowl years, well, we kind of found out the other day that the schedule or the strength of schedule for the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, it really wasn't all that hard when you think about the 1992 season. Let's go back and look at that 1992 season real quick. That 1992 season for the Dallas Cowboys is actually a funny season because in the grand scheme of things, the Cowboys played. Let's go back to 1992. So the Cowboys, in the grand scheme of things, the Dallas Cowboys in 1992, when they went to the Super Bowl, they only played 4 teams with a winning record. That was it. And that's when they had probably one of their best defenses, but it was, I mean, in grand scheme of things, it was only 4 winning teams. Cowboys went 13-3. Cowboys, I believe, were the number 1 seed, maybe. Beat the Eagles, beat the 49ers. Knocked out Jim Kelly in, I think, the first quarter of the Super Bowl. Mollywopped them 2017. Now, let's look at the 1993 season. The 1993 season. I don't quite understand why the 1993 season was not listed as more of a difficult season than the 1992 season. Because the reality is in 1992, man, the Cowboys faced a season similar to this one. I mean, they played quite a few teams with winning seasons. They played the Buffalo Bills second game of the season. They were 12-4 and wound up seeing the Buffalo Bills again in the Super Bowl. Green Bay winning season, 49ers winning seasons, Philadelphia 8-8, New York Giants winning season, Miami winning season, Minnesota winning season, New York Jets were 8-8. Boy, I bet the New York Jets wish they could get 8-8 now. Man, New York Jets would kill for 8-8 now. But in 1993, the Cowboys, I believe, number 1 seed. They played 6 teams with a winning record, 2 teams with an 8-8 record. And then they beat the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs, 27-17, beat the 49ers in the conference championship, 38-21, And then they had a much tougher game against the Buffalo Bills in that next Super Bowl, and it was 2013. It was 20-13, but nevertheless, the Dallas Cowboys prevailed. Now, the 1995 Super Bowl, it might have been as impressive. The last two Super Bowls were probably more impressive than the first one. Let's look at the third Super Bowl. So this time, Broncos 8-8, Minnesota 8-8, Green Bay 11-5, San Diego 9-7, Atlanta 9-7, Philly 10-6, 49ers 11-5, Oakland 8-8, Kansas City Chiefs 13-3. Cowboys putting hands on people too. But again, the Cowboys this time, they played even more teams. They had 6 teams with a winning record and 3 teams this time with 8-8 records. An 8-8 record. So in reality, the 1995 season was even more impressive. They went to the divisional round, beat the Philadelphia Eagles, conference championship. They beat the Green Bay Packers 38-27, which was a very tough game. And then I called this the Larry Brown Super Bowl because I'll still never understand why the Pittsburgh quarterback threw 2 interceptions to Larry Brown that it looked like he thought Larry Brown was his receiver. But nevertheless, Cowboys won that Super Bowl that year when that's when they got Deion Sanders. But I think it's very interesting. Very interesting in the grand scheme of things. In the season where the Cowboys had the teams with the most, when they played the seasons they played where the teams had more winning records, Cowboys also won Super Bowls. So we bounce back over here to this Cowboys season coming up. This is the kind of season that builds you into a Super Bowl winner. This is that kind of season. The Cowboys, if I'm guessing right, they're actually going to play. Count it, brothers and sisters. They're going to play 10 teams with a winning record. Those are the kind of seasons that get you ready for Super Bowls. Those are the kind of seasons that get you ready for Super Bowls. The Cowboys should be playing no less than 10 teams with winning records, whether that be 9-8 or better. Man, I'm going to tell you right now, Brandon Cup, Mile High City, O'Donnell bank account in Swiss still need to be checked. They need to check to see if that man got a Swiss bank account. Hey, I ain't mad at him, though. I ain't mad at him. Those two interceptions broke the Super Bowl wide open, man. Broke the Super Bowl wide open. So I'm not mad. But again, I'm telling us, man, I already told y'all before. Okay, did I mess up on a score? 30-13? Okay, was it 30-13? Sorry, got that off the internet research. Maybe I saw it wrong. But the Cowboys, man, this is a great opportunity for the Cowboys. I'm excited for the Dallas Cowboys because if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, there'll be no excuses. They actually won't be able to say that the Cowboys had an easy schedule. This schedule, it isn't easy. It isn't easy. But I like the way that they put it. If you think about what they did to the Dallas Cowboys, if you just look at it at face value, the first 6 games will give the Cowboys time to get everything in place. The second 6 games are all winnable. All of them are winnable. The last 5 games, those will be the games to prove whether or not you're ready for the playoffs. And so if you can just pull out of the last 5, can you pull 3 out of 5 of the last 5 games? Can you pull 3 or 5? Because if you pull 3 or 5, you're probably going to be in the stop. You're going to probably be in the playoffs. And the teams that you saw in the regular season will probably be the teams you will see in the playoffs. So it's not like you'll be looking at anybody unfamiliar. I like this Cowboys schedule. Now that I've looked at it some more and see how everything is arranged, they are going to be tired doing those. They got them a bunch scheduled at the first of the season and a bunch scheduled in the middle. But I think the Cowboys, man, if they take care of business, I think they're going to be okay. Bad said, I don't care how much it costs. No, where is that? If my Cowboys hit the NFC Championship game, I'm in like fleeing, like G say. Yeah, man. Bass, man, I told y'all last year when I started this channel, I believe the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl in 2026, no later than 2027. I am still sticking to that prognostication. I am still sticking to that prognostication. I can see it. Looking at that schedule, I can see it now. When all the teams are all jumbled up, it's a little bit harder to kind of look at and it's a little harder to kind of see. But now now when you see how everything is arranged, because I'm going to tell you something about scheduling. A lot of people don't realize this about scheduling. But when you start talking about scheduling, timing is everything. Timing is everything. It's not just playing a team. It's when you play a team. It's when you play a team. Yes, sir. I say it all the time, Bass. They're going to call me a prophet before it's over. They'll call me a prophet before it's over. Because, let me tell y'all something. If you told me the Cowboys were going to play the Rams and the Seahawks in the first 6 games of the season, I would have probably said, nah, that's going to be tough. It's probably going to be a loss. But if you tell me now, they don't have to play these guys until way back here. What is this, like the 13th and 14th game? I'm good. Because by this time, the Cowboys should be on track. The Cowboys should be on track by the time they see the Seattle Seahawks. All these other games, they give the Cowboys time to get their feet up under them. It's good we're starting with the Giants. I think it's good. Commanders, not sweating it. Ravens, they got issues too. Texans, that's the flashpoint. That's the second flashpoint game. Okay, how much better will we be by the time we see the Texans? How much better will we be when we started the season? Bucks, Green Bay, not as worried. I think they can pull those games off if everything is going in the right direction. And then those next 6, man, I know the scheduling is going to be a little rough, but I feel good about these. I feel good about, I'm going to call it Philly to Philly. I feel real good from Philly to Philly. I feel like that's a 5-1, 6-0 run right there. Because I'm going to show you something about the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl winning Cowboys that I noticed. I'm going to tell you something that I noticed that was very strange about these. And especially when you go back to 1992. You know, the 1993 year. The 1993 year brings back a lot of memories. 1993 was the year that Emmitt Smith held out to get paid. And we started 0-2. They went and signed Emmitt Smith. And I want you to look at the runs the Dallas Cowboys had. This is incredible when you look at the runs, because it's the same thing in basketball. Basketball is about going on runs. And not only going on runs, but going on runs at the right time. So look at what the Cowboys did first half of the season in 1993. They lost the first 2 games. They turned around and won 6 games in a row. Won 7 games in a row, actually. They lost 2 games. And then they came back and they won 5 games in a row. It's about going on runs and making sure that when you go on your run, make sure that you go on your run at the end of the season. You got to find a way to get hot at the end of the season. You got to get hot, man. You got to get hot. Even when you look at 1995, Cowboys, 4-game winning streak, lost 1. 4-game winning streak, lost 1. 2 games, lost 2. But look at what they did down the stretch. They got hot down the stretch. They won 2 games and they got on the roll. You got to make sure it's all about those runs. It's all about those runs, man. And the Cowboys, when you look at the season, they got an opportunity to go on a run in the middle of that schedule. That is a dream schedule. Philly to Philly. Philly, Cardinals, Colts, 49ers, Titans, Eagles. Come on, man. Come on, man. That is a dream run right there. This is the make or break point of the season. How you come out of this, how the Cowboys come out of Philly to Philly is going to determine whether or not they go to the playoffs. How they come out of that Philly to Philly. That's what I'm going to call that section of the Dallas Cowboys schedule. Philly to Philly. It has got to be the most winnable part of the schedule. These teams all Cardinals, first-year coach. Titans, first-year coach. 49ers, we'll see what they look like with the wide receiver issue they got going on. Man, we don't know what Danny Dimes going to look like. They might even have Richardson playing quarterback by the time we see him. Man, this is a very good part. And I believe we can sweep Philly. We can sweep Philly. It's going to be a very good part of the schedule, Cowboy fans. I'm telling us. I'm excited about that part of the schedule. First part, get your legs up under you. Run through the second part. Third part, start getting ready for the playoffs. Figure out a way, can you beat, and man, if you beat the Rams and the Eagles and Jags and the Giants and the Commanders, it's going to be crazy. But you got a great opportunity. You got the Giants and the Commanders again at the end. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go, man. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I am seeing as it applies to the Dallas Cowboys. I like what I'm seeing. How y'all feeling about the schedule? Y'all let me know. How y'all feeling about the schedule? And I got quite a few more topics on here, but I think what I'm going to do, we've talked about the schedule for quite a bit. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to save the rest of what I got for tomorrow's show. Oh, I got a lot, man, I tell you. Because I know I wouldn't be able to get through all of it tonight unless we were on here till about midnight. But I got quite a few topics for us to talk about going also to, tomorrow going forward. So we're going to pick up tomorrow where we are today. We're going to come back tomorrow and listen to the Stephen Jones interview. He had some very good things to say. It's a very short interview. Stephen Jones had a lot of good things to say. I know y'all heard about Colin Cowherd and his top 10 quarterbacks. Left off Dak Prescott. Absolutely incredible. And got more people on the Dallas Cowboys bandwagon. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'm sure there'll be more developments coming. Now that the Cowboys schedule has been released, I am sure there will be more developments coming. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to make sure I'm going to have to coin those phrases, Brandon Cup. Because I do believe the Cowboys are saying, why not us? Why not us? I believe that's what they're going to, that's what their moniker is going to be this year. I believe they fully expect to be in the Super Bowl. I do. I think they fully expect to be in the Super Bowl, whether we accept it or not. Bass said, why did California get the Super Bowl twice last year? San Francisco this year? Oh my gosh. You got to explain that to me. I'm going to tell you something, Bass. Jerry ain't trying to get no Super Bowls in Dallas. Jerry got so many things that he's doing in AT&T Stadium. Jerry can snap his finger and get another Super Bowl in Dallas. Jerry needs to stop playing. Get us a Super Bowl somewhere else. I'm with you, man. I'm tired of doing these Super Bowls in California, robbing these players of their bonus checks. Taxes so much they actually owing money when they play in the Super Bowl. That's not what you're supposed to be doing, man. Come on, man. They gotta do better. NFL gotta do better, man. NFL gotta do better. But again, man, a lot of great things coming for the Cowboys, I believe, in the future. I don't believe they're done personnel-wise. Y'all just keep holding on. You watch what I tell you. They're going to be on a 2-week break. They will be on a 2-week break. From what my understanding is, we'll listen to it tomorrow. Stephen Jones and his family, they're going on vacation. I'm sure they're not going to turn the phone off. But I'm sure also they probably let people know they're going to be on vacation. And then when the Cowboys get back, it's on and popping in June, guys. It's on and popping in June. That's when we're going to know if not the real George Pickens drama is going to start. If George Pickens don't show up to the mandatory mini camps, yeah, we might have a little bit of drama on our hands. But I think he's going to show up. And I think we're going to be great. I think we're going to be good to go. Man, a lot to be excited about, Cowboy fans. All right, guys. Y'all will see me tomorrow if the Lord is willing. And we're going to be talking about this schedule again. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of stories out there about the schedule and the Cowboys. And we will be covering them here on Let's Talk Cowboys. Until the next time, DC4L, God bless. Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Peace.